Alrighty, welcome back everybody to our latest live stream. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon thus far. We are going live right off the bat with 2 tornado warnings in Oklahoma, one of which is really the main tornado warning. This has just been issued moments ago. This is going to include Lawton, Oklahoma. Alright, we now have 2 tornado warnings that are now important. We have now a new tornado warning that was just issued, but our main tornado warning that was issued moments ago does include Indian-Homa as well as Cache, White Wolf Bridge, Lawton, Oklahoma, and near Medicine Park. We just had a new tornado warning issued as well for the Apache area that is north of Medicine Park, southeast of Cooperton. If you are in either of these pink polygons, make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. Again, these are now 2 different tornado warnings that have just been issued here, both of which again in Oklahoma. If you are in either tornado warning, please make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. Both storms are capable of producing QLCS tornadoes. These are tornadoes that are usually embedded in a line of thunderstorms. Rotation on radar has been tight at times. This is the tightening that we just had moments ago south of Indian-Homa. I'm not seeing anything on the ground at this point, no CC drop, but that is what we're watching for right now, are these little kinks that are developing, those little notches, couplets that are developing essentially near Indian-Homa. We also have another one that's ongoing just around Sunset Peak, which is again going to be approaching Black Bear Mountain and eventually going towards the Holy City and going towards Mears, Oklahoma. Again, both areas of rotation are moving east-northeast, so if you're in either areas here, make sure that you are seeking shelter. The tornado warning north of Frederick, that one has just been let to expire. Further down to the south, we do have storms ongoing. Most of this is just going to be gusty, damaging wind potential as that moves towards Burke Burnett, and we also have damaging winds ongoing across parts of northwestern North Texas near Wichita Falls. Damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour is currently the main concern. That stretches from Wichita Falls back into Graham, Texas. So if you're in any of these areas, be prepared for a straight line damaging wind threat here over the next several minutes. We do have some early convection that's been ongoing out in front of this line of thunderstorms over the last couple of hours, which has kind of, stabilized the atmosphere a little bit, at least for the Dallas-Fort Worth area temporarily. But what we're going to be watching for over the next few hours is basically destabilization to occur across parts of southern Oklahoma and North Texas. And what that's eventually going to lead towards is the potential for a couple or even a few semi-discrete supercells this afternoon. And we very easily could see a few tornadoes today, and I would not even rule out a strong tornado. There is a tornado watch that is in effect in the purple. That includes Oklahoma City, parts of farther northern parts of North Texas, and a large chunk of central and southern Oklahoma. This goes until 8 o'clock tonight. Here's your tornado risk for today. So we have a 10% tornado risk that has been added to areas in far northern North Texas, which includes areas like Gainesville, Texas, Sherman, Texas, and also back into areas like Ardmore, Adam, McAllister, Stigler, and Fort Smith. So it's a pretty large area. We think the greatest tornado risk is going to be from about 4 until about 10 o'clock tonight. Obviously, it's a pretty large range, but with that said, that is when we're going to be watching for the greatest tornado risk. So make sure you have a tornado action plan in place and multiple ways to receive alerts. It is a large tornado risk. It's not just going to be in the yellow shaded area. We could see a few tornadoes anywhere, even in the green or brown shaded regions, and that indicates a low end chance of there being a few tornadoes. And also I want to point out that this kind of looks like a dinosaur, so a little fun fact, that's what it looks like. But again, essentially what we're looking at here is the greatest tornado risk will be across central, southern, and eastern Oklahoma, and also back through parts of North Texas. So that's where we're looking at for the greatest concern for today. All right, let's go back to the tornado warnings and check in on the rotation yet again. We do have a little couplet that's developed near Sunset Peak. Again, we may have a tornado on the ground. No CC drop yet, but there could be a tornado dropping near Black Bear Mountain. It is on track for 115 east of Cooperton, Oklahoma, and it is on track for Apache, Oklahoma. So if you're anywhere in the pink polygon, again, make sure that you're in your safe place. Even if we don't have a tornado, we are talking about damaging winds that could be as high as 70 to even 80 miles per hour. So the wind threat is definitely concerning here. Damaging winds anywhere from 60 to 80 miles per hour will be possible with this Boeing segment as it moves towards Medicine Park, White Wolf Bridge, and as well as going towards Lawton, Oklahoma. We do have a live camera as well out of Lawton, Oklahoma. That's a live shot bottom right of your screen. We'll be keeping a close eye on that as this tornado warn cell is heading right towards Lawton, Oklahoma. So if we see anything, we're going to keep that probably on the bottom right of your screen. That's the closest camera, I believe, to having a view of this particular tornado warn supercell. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that. Aside from that, we do have storm chasers chasers out there. We do have several storm chasers. We'll check into them real quick. This is one of our live cameras on the virtual railfan out of Oklahoma City. We also got Quanah, Texas, which is near Wichita Falls. Look how dark it is out there right now. Very dark and ominous. There have been storms in that area throughout the morning hours and even into the early afternoon, mostly just damaging winds there near Quanah. This is in Lawton, Oklahoma. And again, this is where we're looking at that tornado-warned cell. Again, we don't really see anything yet. This camera's still about 15 miles out, I'd say, from any area of rotation. But we'll probably end up seeing some pretty significant wind coming through Lawton, Oklahoma here pretty soon.
Definitely need to be keeping an eye.
And then we also have storm chaser Tyler Kurtz out there. He's near Wichita Falls, Texas, as of right now. And then Storm Media will be live here shortly. We got Brandon Kopic, who's on YouTube and also on the Radar Omega app. We'll have him with us. He's back over near Fort Worth, Texas right now. And then also we have Corey Gherkin, who's in the same area. So we're going to keep a close eye on all of the storm chasers that we have. We'll also have Connor Croft and Storm Runner Media here pretty soon. But again, this is a live shot out of that tornado warning in Lawton, Oklahoma. We can't see anything quite yet since the storm's still a little ways away from the downtown area. But good. Again, if you are in Lawton, Oklahoma, make sure that you are getting to your safe place. Thank you, Doggo, for the super chat. Appreciate that. All right, let me go back to live radar here. Apparently, the Valley Brook tornado from yesterday is at least an EF3 tornado, by the way. So, for those that were not here last night, we had several tornadoes, several of which were large in Oklahoma last night. And it wasn't even last night. It was really early this morning. And we had one near Valley Brook, Oklahoma. That one was just upgraded to an EF3 tornado. That was near Midwest City, just outside of Oklahoma City. So that one was just upgraded to an EF3. The one that happened near Hera, Oklahoma, which is right just to the east of that, was also at least an EF3 tornado from last night. That was on the ground for around 20 to 25 minutes. I don't think we've had any word yet on the tornado that happened near Byers, Texas, and then eventually crossed here into parts of Oklahoma. That was on the ground for a long time. I'm not sure what the rating is on that yet. We haven't had anything official on that, but again, a lot of surveys are ongoing right now and a lot of preliminary surveys, obviously. So nothing official, but everything so far is hinting towards the fact that we at least had 3, if not even 4, strong and intense tornadoes last night in Oklahoma. And again, we were live for that entire outbreak. It wasn't a super long outbreak. It was like 2.5 hours for the strong and large tornadoes, but it was a very impactful event since a lot of areas that were hit by those tornadoes were very populated. And apparently the Newcastle Elementary School just outside of Oklahoma City was also really heavily damaged or even destroyed. So unfortunately yesterday was a big day. Hopefully we have nothing like what we had yesterday, but my concern is that if we do get anything like yesterday where we have some prefrontal convection, that is going to spark a much more elevated tornado threat. For the time being, we don't have anything really prefrontal. Like, we've had a few little cells out here near like Bridgeport, but none of those are really organized right now. They're just, they're showers. There's nothing really too crazy about those right now, but as things clear out, I do think this atmosphere is going to become more favorable. And again, that is why they have a tornado watch in effect here for the next 5.5 hours. So, and again, that goes until 8 o'clock Central Time. The Storm Prediction Center has mentioned that a few tornadoes are likely across this tornado watch, which again includes central, southern Oklahoma, and North Texas. Widespread damaging winds are likely as well. So we could see even, I wouldn't say a derecho, but we are definitely going to see the potential for a significant mesoscale convective system across parts of Oklahoma and Texas. And then also scattered large hail will be possible up to the size of ping pong balls. For right now, this is not a super organized line of thunderstorms. There are a couple of different Boeing segments that we have ongoing. I think as we go over the next couple of hours, this is going to become more of one line of thunderstorms, and that's where we're going to be watching for a dual threat of both significant damaging winds and also the potential for a few tornadoes. I do want to show you the latest future radar to give you an idea of what we're looking at here for the rest of today, since I don't think we have any active tornadoes on the ground. Let's just double check. We still have rotation on the storm near Lawton and as well as near Medicine Park, but nothing on the ground as of right now. Again, rotation west of Medicine Park. I do want to go through the future radar, though, and show you what we're going to be looking at for the rest of today. So this is right around 3 o'clock or so. So this is pretty much what's on radar right now. Again, we got that Boeing segment of storms near Wichita Falls and Abilene. We're eventually by around 4 going to see an increasing risk of tornadoes with this line as it moves in the direction of the Red River Valley near Sherman and Gainesville. I think by 5 to 6 o'clock is when this tornado threat is getting close to its peak. Notice the HRRR does pick up on some prefrontal convection north of Paris. This is where a strong tornado threat would be in play. So we need to watch that very closely later this afternoon and into the early evening hours. And eventually by 8 to 9 o'clock, this continues into Oklahoma. So North Texas, your main concern is throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the early evening. And then eventually we have another risk for tomorrow, which is again a 10% hatched tornado risk. This is the future radar for Oklahoma, so notice this is what it looks like right now. We're going to get a much more organized line of storms by about 4 to 5 o'clock. It's going to look, I think, pretty similar to what we saw last night with that line of thunderstorms. We're probably going to see some QLCS tornadoes embedded in this line from Stillwater, Oklahoma, back into North Texas. Again, main concern across this line will be damaging winds, but there will be a possibility for a few tornadoes. And then the prefrontal convection is where the strong tornado threat would be in play. There is no hatch tornado risk today, but I still think a strong tornado is very possible today. As we get closer to 6 to 7 o'clock, that prefrontal convection will be caught up to by the line of thunderstorms, mostly a QLCS tornado threat, and this QLCS tornado threat will go through about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, and then by 11 to 12 o'clock, I think things start to wind down. And then eventually by Monday morning, more storms are out there, and then we're watching for another significant tornado threat during the afternoon hours on Monday. So that's what we're looking at overall. Now, I do want to point out that we could be live here for the next 8 to 10 hours. We also could be live here for the next hour, maybe take a break and then come back. Either thing is possible here. We'll see what happens. It's just going to depend on trends at this point because, again, I think today is going to be a long day. We have basically what we're seeing now. This is going to be ongoing for several hours. That prefrontal convection will be later this afternoon, and that's where I think the strong tornado threat will be more in play. So that's what we're looking at. They have just updated the tornado warning. Lawton, Oklahoma is no longer in the warning. If you are in northern Lawton near the White Wolf Bridge, you are still included in a tornado warning, so continue to stay in your safe place. That's, again, a storm shelter, basement, closet, or bathroom, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. The northern tornado warning as well still goes for 20 more minutes. I'm not seeing a whole lot of rotation on either storm. Got a little maybe rotation near Medicine Park and a little bit near Highway 115. But again, both of them, I'm not seeing anything too out of the ordinary right now. Looks more like a wind threat for right now, but we definitely could see the spin up again here pretty soon. And they have just updated this tornado warning, so it no longer includes Indiahoma, but it does still include Medicine Park, Oklahoma. And again, that is just off to the north of Lawton, Oklahoma. QLCS is quasi-linear convective system. It's just a fancy terminology for a line of thunderstorms producing embedded tornadoes. That's all it is. What's NATOcast got in store for us? I'll show you guys. I haven't looked at the most recent one, unless, or maybe I have. I don't know. I woke up at like 12 o'clock today, so after last night, we woke up very late. So NATOcast for today. This was the initial outlook, which I agree with this. They have a hatch tornado risk here in southeast Oklahoma. I agree with this. The Storm Prediction Center has a 10% tornado risk in play, but it's not hatched, which basically means they don't think strong tornadoes are that likely. I personally would say that, you know, there's a chance here in 30 minutes with their next outlook that we will see a hatched tornado risk. I think strong tornadoes are possible today, just like yesterday night. But yeah, again, I think southeast Oklahoma has the best chance for any strong tornado activity. Overall, though, I agree with this tornado outlook. I think that outlines where our greatest tornado threat will be here throughout the day today. This is what they have for tomorrow. Obviously, this is way higher than, you know, the SPC. The SPC has a 10% hatch tornado risk. NATOcast was right yesterday night. You know, could they be right again tomorrow? I wouldn't doubt it, but they do have a 30% hatch tornado risk in southwest Missouri. Now, I won't get too caught up in the numbers here, but it does outline where the greatest tornado threat is expected to be tomorrow. So definitely interesting. This is their latest outlook, though, for today. They don't have a hatched risk in play, but I personally think a hatched risk is, I would say probably, I think we'll get one at 3 p.m., which again, the next SPC outlook is at 3. So I do think we'll get a hatched tornado risk, but we'll see. They didn't issue, they only had a 2% tornado risk for the outbreak yesterday night, so. But for right now, again, it's a 10% normal tornado risk. Again, basically what this means is that a few tornadoes are likely in this area. The reason why it's not hatched right now is basically they don't think there will be that many, or there probably won't be very many strong tornadoes, but I definitely, again, could see this getting upgraded to a hatched in the next outlook. As a reminder, if you are just tuning in, and we were watching last night's live stream, the Valley Brook tornado in Oklahoma was upgraded to an EF3. So an EF3 tornado for Valley Brook, Oklahoma. And I am posting that on Twitter. Alrighty. Does he ever sleep? I had 7 hours of sleep last night. We went to bed at like almost 5 a.m. after the tornado outbreak and got up at around 12. So, good times. Oh, crap. The SBC already updated. Oh, man. Guys, the time changed. I forgot. Never mind. So, they have not added a hatched risk. My apologies. And I don't think they're going to. But the tornado risk is still a 10% tornado risk. I forgot that the time zones changed. So SBC outlooks now come out an hour earlier because of the daylight savings time. So it actually comes out at 2 now. That's going to throw me off for the next week, I think. But the 10% tornado risk, again, it includes parts of northern North Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. They're not going to add a hatched risk, even though I still think a strong tornado is possible. And then tomorrow, on the other hand, is a hatched risk, and it's pretty much in the same area. So my apologies. I completely forgot. Oh man, that's gonna be tough the next couple days. I like the outlooks coming out though, like an hour earlier. It does help. Thank you, Georgia, for the super chat. If you're just tuning in, tornado warnings ongoing here near Lawton. Let's go full cam to the Lawton camera. This is the tornado warning cell. A lot of scud right now. A lot of scud on that cloud base. And this is a live shot here of this tornado warning cell near Lawton, Oklahoma. There are a few other cameras, so I'm going to see if there's any better view of anything. I think it's our best shot right now of this storm. So again, this is the tornado warning cell right now near Lawton, Oklahoma. Again, this is live on the Oklahoma traffic camera. They just issued a large severe thunderstorm warning on this segment of storms, so I think the tornado warnings may end up getting canceled, but we'll see. They'll probably at least go through the end of the cycle here, but they just issued a new large severe thunderstorm warning for Chickasha and as well as the Anadarko area. That is for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, and there's a tornado possible label on that. But again, this is inside. This is just at this camera is looking at the tornado warning cell here. As the storm rolls in. Probably going to see the wind pick up quite a bit here in a few minutes. And also, potential tropical cyclone 18 has now formed in the Caribbean Sea. So, we'll have an official track on that here pretty soon, but a tropical storm is likely to form, and even a hurricane will likely form later this, or into the week. And that'll impact the United States probably sometime by the weekend or early the following week. I'm not really seeing much right now, just a lot of scud. There is another camera coming up in Lawton. Let me pull you guys over to that one. The wind is starting to pick up on the other camera. So this is the other live shot in Lawton. Wind's picking up just a little bit. This is looking northbound instead of westbound. In the same general area, though. We should start to see that damaging wind threat pick up here in Lawton in a moment. Again, warned for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds. Max, you need a mustache? I think I'm alright. Appreciate the advice, though. Yes, this is live right now. The camera's live. We're live. It is live. All right, wind's not really picking up quite yet. Again, we should see it pick up here in a moment. Assuming that this is producing damaging winds even to any extent, whether it's 70 miles per hour or not 70 miles per hour. Should see the wind pick up here in a moment in Lawton, Oklahoma. Thank you, River, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. We also have several storm chasers out there. Again, just none of them are in this area. So just letting you guys know. Will this storm make it to northeast Oklahoma? This Boeing segment could make it up there, later into the afternoon, into the early evening. I'll keep that bottom right until the wind starts picking up. But again, this is the tornado warning cells that we have right now, just north of Lawton, Oklahoma. That live shot is in Lawton, along Highway 62. And I'm not really seeing anything on radar that really defines any sort of couplet. We do have a little notch that's formed north of Medicine Park, but again, it's not anything super out of the ordinary. We have a Boeing segment just to the east and southeast of Wichita Falls that is going to be producing damaging winds. Definitely could see a tornado out of this down the road, but for right now, it's just a large Boeing segment that is definitely going to be producing damaging winds. And then we also have that little prefrontal storm here near Munster. That could be something that forms into something down the road. Like, we could get some tornadic activity out of something like that down the road. Again, the bigger concern this afternoon will be if any prefrontal storms are able to develop, similar to what we saw late last night. And those were the ones that produced those, strong tornadoes in Oklahoma. So, and even parts of, even like Myers, Texas as well. So we have to watch that potential very closely. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. And then we also have some storms back up in Oklahoma, or Oklahoma City, but none of those are severe. They're just strong. But again, we're starting to see a lot of clearing now across southern Oklahoma, which is going to be more concerning because it's, again, destabilizing the atmosphere, and that'll allow, I think, for tornadic supercells to develop later this afternoon. Again, I really hope we don't have anything like yesterday by any means, but I do think it's possible that we could see something like yesterday. All right, so southern Oklahoma, North Texas, definitely be on alert here. It is going to probably be a long afternoon and evening. It might be pretty spread out, but it'll be pretty much a long afternoon and evening. Because this threat is going to go all the way from now until about 11 or 12 o'clock tonight. What was the EF scale for the tornado that went through Hera, Oklahoma? That was an EF3 at least. They preliminarily said, I don't know if that's a word, but they said for a preliminary rating it was an EF3. Thank you, Lavender, for the super chat. I got my signed hat the other day. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate you getting the hat. I think all of the hats have been delivered at this point, so. We've at least had 2 EF3 tornadoes from yesterday, by the way. So we had the one in Hera, Oklahoma, and then we had the one in just outside Midwest City, the Valley Brook tornado. That was also an EF3. So for right now, there are 2 different EF3 tornadoes that have been confirmed from yesterday. I feel like we might get a third one for that storm that happened back down in the Waurika area. But that's, I don't know if we've had any surveys on that yet. So we'll have to wait and see. Just got a new severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour south and east of Waurika. That is near Henrietta and north of Bowie. So if you are in this severe thunderstorm warning, again, stay away from windows. Trees could be falling. We could have flying trampolines as well. We had flying trampolines, by the way, yesterday. Believe it or not, I have some photos I'll show you guys. This is from... It's from Missy Brown out of the Oklahoma City area. We had flying trampolines yesterday. This is all from last night's storms. We had that. We had this trampoline that also got displaced from its homeowners. And then we also got another trampoline that was completely demolished in Oklahoma City. Let's get some F's in the chat for the trampolines that were lost yesterday. We had a lot of flying trampolines across Oklahoma. And it brings us back to the flying trampoline meter. For today, the flying trampoline meter is at a high risk. So we have a high risk for flying trampolines. So make sure you're hatching down your trampolines today. You'll have some flying trampolines, especially with the widespread potential for damaging winds in both Oklahoma and parts of North Texas. People don't take the flying trampoline meter seriously. It actually is annoying. We talk about it all the time on this channel. Trampolines still go flying. People, I guess, just don't care about their trampolines. It's crazy. Now, I do want to point this out. The tornado threat for today, again, is going to be anywhere from like now until about 11 o'clock or so tonight. This is going to be more geared, I think, towards more of a nocturnal tornado threat. I think a lot of the tornadic activity that's going to happen today will be between like 5 and 11 o'clock, which is actually now nocturnal since the sun sets around like 5:30 here in the Southern Plains. So, you know, we will still have the potential for a few tornadoes over the next few hours, but it's going to really ramp up during the mid to late afternoon and eventually into the evening hours. And again, the sun sets at like 5:30. So the nocturnal tornado threat is now technically, you know, it's going to begin like around 5:30, 6 o'clock. This channel has saved me from buying multiple trampolines. I guess we're driving the trampolines out of business. I don't know if that's a good thing. Thank you, Fruit, for becoming a member, and thank you, Anne, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. Your head is the shape of a tornado warning polygon? That's not very nice. Confirmed tornado Medicine Park. We don't have anything confirmed. It's just radar indicated. And both of these tornado warnings are going to expire in 6 minutes. I think they'll be let to expire with the rotation that we're seeing. It's not very impressive. But I do think that this tornado threat will continue up into Oklahoma City. As this Boeing segment continues, I think it's going to become more organized over the next hour. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple tornadoes back up in the Oklahoma City area. So definitely something to watch for up there. For right now, the biggest concern out of this is damaging winds around 70 miles per hour. But we definitely could still see a couple of tornadoes. Thank you, Fruit. Appreciate the generosity. Thank you for the super chat. So for right now, this is the live shot at Lawton, Oklahoma. We didn't really see the wind pick up here, but it is raining. So we have confirmed rain in Lawton, Oklahoma. If you look bottom right of your screen, you'll see the the leading edge here of this line is moving through Lawton right now, and it's not really that defined. The worst of this wind is going to be back up near Apache. So it's not nearly as bad up there. That's not as nearly as bad down there in Lawton. The tornado warnings have just been canceled, so we no longer have any tornado warnings ongoing. We are back down to tornado possible labels, which essentially means that it's kind of the middle ground between a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning. So we have that on the Lawton storm. Again, we probably will get another tornado warning with this sometime down the road as it moves towards Oklahoma City. And then the same thing near Bowie and as well as Nakona and Henrietta. Still have a tornado possible label on this, or we did. We did on the initial one. It's back down to just 70 mile per hour damaging winds. Again, bowing out, going towards Nakona, and eventually going into southern Oklahoma. And we are still watching this little cell here near Munster pretty closely. It looks pretty elevated, but that's, again, prefrontal convection. Might be something that becomes concerning here pretty soon. And we also have a lot of lightning out there, so something else to keep in mind. And Quanah, Texas is starting to clear out, bottom right of your screen. Sun has come out. That's back over near Wichita Falls, Texas. And then Oklahoma City is pretty ominous right now. We are still seeing rotation near Apache. It's still broad, though. I'm not seeing anything really tight yet. But we are at least still seeing a little bit of rotation there. Again, this part of the line right now, I would say, has the best chance of trying to produce a QLCS tornado. And it's going on. That's going to be on track towards Chickasha, Oklahoma. So that's the area in the track of that. Thank you, Creative, for the $10 super chat. All storms seem to be heading towards Stillwater. How is there no need for a tornado watch? Well, the storm's up near Stillwater right now. These are all just elevated showers and thunderstorms. It's nothing too concerning. So I'm not super concerned here about tornadic activity in Stillwater. I think the greatest concern for tornadoes will be really down to your south today. Let's go ahead and go on to the future radar for the tornado parameter values. I'll kind of just outline where we're looking at for that greatest tornado threat. Thank you, by the way, Jaws, for the $10 donation. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. So this is the tornado parameter values for today, and really the main corridor around 4 to 5 o'clock is going to be centered across southern Oklahoma and North Texas. Again, that area that I just outlined is where the greatest environment is around 5 o'clock for the potential for a couple or even a few tornadoes. By about 6 to 7 o'clock, that threat continues, especially in southeast Oklahoma. But notice how it stays really far down here to the south and east. I think that greatest concern, again, is going to be here in southeast Oklahoma and North Texas. Now, notice I didn't say anything about Oklahoma City, but the Oklahoma City threat is going to come out of that line of storms over the next couple of hours. And we do have an environment here where we could see a brief tornado or even 2 tornadoes up in that area if that line is able to organize. Further to the north, though, it's just not as favorable of an environment. The moisture isn't really up there far enough, and just in general, the kinematics to today, and also just in general, the dynamic setup in northern parts of Oklahoma just isn't there for any sort of, I would say, tornado outbreak or even tornadoes in general. There is a tornado risk up here. Could we see a tornado? Sure. I would just say it's a low chance. I think it's a very low chance. It would have to be off of something that becomes from the prefrontal convection. And if we do end up getting something here, with which there is a lot of clearing for the record here in southern Oklahoma, if we do get some sort of prefrontal storm, or if this line organizes more, I think tornadoes are very possible here. But I just think the risk is lower, and that's why they didn't issue a tornado watch up there. They could always extend the tornado watch, by the way, down the road. So just keep that in mind. And there already is a tornado watch in North Texas, but it only includes the Red River Valley counties, so like Gainesville, Sherman, Paris, and also back over in Bonham. So I don't think they're going to extend that into Dallas-Fort Worth unless, again, we see something, you know, unless we see something like earlier before this line of storms. The tornado warnings have now just officially expired, by the way. They were technically canceled, though, even though the counter still said that there were tornado warnings. Thank you, Sour Patch, for becoming a member. Thank you, Paul, for the 10-pound super chat. We even have the trampoline chart here in the United Kingdom. You guys actually have a trampoline chart over there? That's actually funny. I thought we were the first ones to make something like it. The flying trampoline meter I thought was original to the channel, but maybe not. I don't know. Tornado reported near Lawton. I mean, if there was a tornado, it had to have been earlier. I mean, there's nothing happening there right now. We still have a little area of rotation again near Apache. It's not really that impressive, but that's like the one area in this line of storms that is still rotating. That's going to be on track right for the Chickasha area, so we're watching that closely. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we were live at 1 a.m. until 3 a.m. It was the daylight savings time tornado outbreak. It was quite the event. And for those that didn't hear, again, if you're just tuning in and haven't already heard, we had a full-blown tornado outbreak last night between 1 and 3 a.m. We were live on the channel, and it was something that I thought might happen yesterday, which is why I still was awake and ready to go live if needed. And unfortunately, it panned out to be one of the worst tornado outbreaks I've ever covered, especially after midnight. It was, again, very late at night. So, again, a lot of people were sleeping. There were several unwarned tornadoes, but I think we communicated the message, you know, pretty well yesterday for what was happening in real time. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy yesterday. Shout out to Konos for the generous $20 super chat. Is Dallas under the gun for severe weather? I would say probably not. I don't feel like we're going to get much down here. However, I wouldn't rule out maybe 1 or 2 storms that form in like Denton or McKinney and eventually move more northbound. But I honestly think in general today, the threat for tornadoes is pretty low in hail and wind. You can kind of see where the storms are corresponding to Dallas-Fort Worth around 5. They're mostly north and west of the Metroplex, and as long as it stays like that, I don't think we're going to see much in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, aside from rain. So, I wouldn't be too concerned there. But, again, I think southeast Oklahoma and right along the Red River is like the main area for today, and it's going to be mostly around and just after sunset, but we're still watching for that tornado threat even over the next few hours. So it's going to be pretty busy, I think, next few hours. Why weren't any tornado emergencies issued last night? Well, first off, you know, even like the PDS tornadoes that happened, there were a couple PDS tornado warnings. I think it was appropriate to at least have a PDS tornado warning on a couple of those storms. However, every single time we had a PDS tornado, I thought we could have had a tornado emergency. The problem with yesterday is that the National Weather Service of Norman was understaffed, and so there was like, I think, this is what I heard. There was like 4 people working, and one person was doing warnings and stuff. One person was answering the phone. Somebody was doing aviation and something else. That was basically what happened. And, you know, when you're in that situation where like one person's only issuing warnings, it's hard to upgrade warnings accurately sometimes because they are doing a lot of stuff. It's not as simple as just, you know, putting a box on the map and putting out a warning. Like, there's more to it. It does take some time to actually issue a warning. So usually when there's more people on staff, you're able to, you know, have people in certain regions or even watching certain storms and, you know, have that button ready to click for a tornado warning. Obviously, yesterday it wasn't like that, but... Will I be live tomorrow? We'll have to wait and see. I'm playing it by ear on every day this week. Or every day this weekend, I should say. Like yesterday, I was waiting all day. Nothing really happened until the night. And then, you know, today, for example, is a day that we were just on standby. But I think with the tornado watch being issued, I think there is a reason why we should be live. We have an update from the National Weather Service of Norman. We also have a new NATOcast outlook. Let's check out the NATOcast outlook first. Just came out. This is their new outlook for today. Again, they were pretty spot on with yesterday's forecast in Oklahoma. They still have that hatched 10% tornado risk right along the Red River in southeast Oklahoma, or again, the potential for a couple of strong tornadoes will exist. Elsewhere, we are still watching for a few tornadoes. So I have a tornado action plan in place in multiple ways to receive alerts. In addition to that, the National Weather Service of Norman just put out an update. First off, the Sooner Road tornado, which was formerly known as the Valley Brook tornado, has been officially rated as an EF3 tornado from last night. So that's the latest on that tornado. The Comanche tornado in Stevens County will at least be rated an EF2 tornado. So the one that was huge on radar, that one has now been rated at least an EF2. And then preliminary for Hera is at least an EF3 tornado. Okay, so that's the latest update from the National Weather Service of Norman. I'm going to quickly put out a tweet so I can just put this into Word format and I'll show you guys. And then Comanche tornado was EF2 at least. And then the other one for Hera was at least an EF3. All right, I'm putting this into text format. I just tweeted on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. If you guys just want to read it, that's probably the easiest way to, you know, see it. But that's the new details from yesterday's tornado ratings. Shout out to Eunice for the $20 super sticker. Appreciate that. Do you have a fan mail wish list? I don't really care if you guys want to send, like, I don't know, whatever. I don't really have like a wish list per se. Maybe some fun Christmas festivities or something. Who knows? Some fun Christmas stuff. Maybe even golf balls. I could use some Bridgestone E6 golf balls for my next golf round. I lose golf balls quite often. Thank you, Jaws, for the 5 gifted members. Appreciate that. Put some W's in the chat for Jaws. And also thank you, Bear Mom, for the 5 gifted members. Appreciate the generosity. Thank you, guys. Lots of Buzz Lightyear merch. No, I'm good on more Buzz Lightyear stuff. Flood the P.O. box with barometers. Please don't. Or barometers, sorry. Barometers. That's definitely a thing. Barometers. Will Kansas get hit? I don't think Kansas is going to see much today. There is a risk up here. They do have a tornado risk even up in Oklahoma or in Kansas. But the The marginal threat goes all the way up into Nebraska. I think for the most part up here, it's going to be more of just hail and wind, and it's going to be isolated. Wouldn't rule out an isolated tornado, but I think it's, again, a relatively low risk here across the board. So I wouldn't be overly concerned. Barometers, yeah. We're going to get a bear meter. Track the bears. Where do we Michigan people send you golf balls? There's a fan mail link in the description. I'll post it in the chat too. If you're curious. Thank you, Coach, for the generous $20 super chat. I transplanted to Kansas last year from Kentucky. I'm glad I can help. Appreciate you tuning in. All right, let's go ahead and check back in with some of our chasers and see what's currently popping with different people. This is in Lawton, Oklahoma, again, one of the traffic cameras. And this is also out of Oklahoma City. This is a live shot in the virtual rail fan in Oklahoma City. Again, pretty ominous skies right now. We do have that line of thunderstorms that'll be approaching here pretty soon. Pretty good amount of lightning that's going to be heading in that direction. Also, there was a report, just real quickly, there was a report north of Lawton of 67 mile per hour wind that was measured back over in Medicine Park. So just out in Comanche County, just north there of Lawton. And we also just got a new severe thunderstorm warning now for Ardmore, Oklahoma, and as well as Highway 70 near Waurika. That is for 70 mile per hour damaging winds and quarter-sized hail. That includes Carter, Love, Jefferson, Stevens, and Murray counties. Okay, let me go back to the cameras here. So we got that. Quanah, Texas is clearing out. Look at Quanah, Texas. It looks great now. A lot of water on the ground. They needed rain in the Wichita Falls area. It's now clearing out there in Quanah, Texas. So some good news there.
Literally nothing.
And then we also have storm chaser Tyler Kurtz, who's out and about. We'll be keeping a close eye on him. He's losing a little bit of connection. Storm Intermedia is now out there. They're back over near Gainesville, Texas. They are preparing here for the potential for a few tornadoes along the Red River Valley throughout the afternoon and evening hours. And we also got Brandon Kopic, who's on Radar Omega and on YouTube. You can watch him in the Radar Omega app with the top link in the description below. That's the weather app that we're currently using. It is on iOS and Android. And so both Corey Gerken and Brandon Kopic out there. And they are currently approaching Decatur, Texas. So those are the different storm chasers that are out there right now. Again, all of them, for the most part, are getting into position for the more elevated tornado risk that is expected here in southern Oklahoma over the next few hours. I've been to Decatur, Texas before, believe it or not. I've also, I mean, I used to live in North Texas, so it makes sense, but I've been to Decatur, Texas before. NATOcast is showing a 30% hatched risk for Joplin tomorrow. It is. I don't know about tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I was talking to a few people that, you know, I talked to quite a bit for weather stuff. And, yeah, I don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow could be big. It also could be a complete bust. Like, I could see it going either way. Tomorrow's storm mode does not look favorable, in my opinion. Like, if you look at the storm mode for tomorrow, it's mostly linear. We do have some of these prefrontal storms. Those will be the ones producing tornadoes, but it's mostly south of Joplin. And it's also going to be in western Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma for the main concern, and also northeast Texas. So, like, this is kind of a situation where, like, I don't feel like Joplin is going to really get in on it. NATOcast was right yesterday, so I don't know if I can really doubt it a whole lot, but like, if you look at the tornado parameter values, they really are high, even up closer to Joplin as well during the mid to late afternoon hours. But tomorrow, I think could bust pretty easily. It also could be a big day. It really could go either way. This feels similar to what we saw on Wednesday. It could either go big or just kind of not be much of anything. But the moisture is really favorable. We have dew points near 70. Like, that's just very oppressive and very favorable in general for severe weather. Thank you, Emily, for the super chat. Lawton looks good for now. Yeah, it's just raining now. Potential for some flash flooding will exist. Thank you, Jaws, for becoming a 26-month VIP Velocity member. I can't believe it's been 2 years. I'm not going to lie. It's crazy. Jaws has been here since the beginning. Thank you, Benita, also for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, I would say tomorrow has a 50% chance to be big or 50% chance to just, you know, bust. I would say 50-50. We do now have an update not related to this, to the tropics. This is not what you want to see in November. But the National Hurricane Center has just put out now potential tropical cyclone 18, and it is expected to become a hurricane as it moves towards Cuba, and then it will eventually enter the Gulf of Mexico and head towards somewhere between Florida and Texas as we go into the end of this week. So, yeah, that is quite literally unbelievable. In the month of November, we have now potential tropical cyclone 18. So, yeah, that's something. Also, new update from the Storm Prediction Center. Here is their latest outlook. The corridor of strong winds and a tornado potential will exist over the next 1 to 2 hours across parts of central Oklahoma. So, timing-wise, Chickasha should see this right around 3 o'clock, just after 3. Oklahoma City will see this around 3:30, Norman area as well, and then just passing the Oklahoma City and Norman areas just after 3:30 this afternoon. So over the next hour or so, that's when the greatest concern will be for the Oklahoma City area. Thank you, Michaela, for the 4-month membership. Appreciate that. Thank you, John, for the super chat. Yeah, I hope Oklahoma doesn't have anything like yesterday. I say yesterday, it was technically like early this morning. Hopefully we don't have anything like that. Thank you, Alan, for the super chat. We still do have a little bit of rotation approaching Chickasha. Again, it's mostly wind right now that's bowing out, but I think we're going to get a potential tornado somewhere in here over the next 30 minutes. We might even see one try to form up here near like El Reno, going towards Oklahoma City. Like, you know, we might see something wrap around here. The terminal radar site showing, again, mostly wind. The two areas I'd be watching for over the next half an hour, or even, you know, over the next 20 minutes for maybe a spin up, would be either north of Gracebond or back over southwest of Chickasha. So those are the two areas that have some circulation, or at least signs of circulation right now. Again, moving to the northeast. One traveling up I-44, and the other one going towards the west side of Oklahoma City. We are starting to see this wrap a little bit near 44, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got a spin up here going towards Chickasha at some point here soon. As a reminder, by the way, no politics. I know it's that time of the year, but no politics. This is a weather stream. This is not a political stream. Thank you. Hopefully the title makes that pretty clear. I hope. Any rotation on the southern storms? Not really much right now. It's mostly wind on these southern storms in Texas. So mostly a damaging wind threat. We have had some storms developing near Breckenridge, Texas, just east of Abilene. But for the most part right now, we're just looking at wind here. Not seeing anything really organizing into anything tornadic or anything like that. A good amount of lightning as well. Fair amount of lightning on those storms. Also got a live shot here out of Abilene, Texas. This is one of the Radar Omega cyclone ports. It's pretty nice out there at this point. It was pretty ominous here earlier when storms were rolling through, but the conditions have improved. Still pretty cloudy out there, but things are improving out there, so that's nice. After those little showers move through Abilene, I think things will be clearing out there. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect all the way until all the way until what time is it? Until 5 o'clock. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't know how I'd missed this, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning north of Tulsa. That's for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. This was issued a little while ago. Other than wind, it's not really concerning, but I did miss that somehow. Shout out to Life in Northern Town with the $25 super chat. Appreciate the generosity from a friend that used to live in McLean County. Stay safe, Oklahoma friends. Thank you for your coverage. Appreciate that. Yeah, yesterday again was crazy. It was absolutely insane. Thank you, Francis, also for the $10 super chat. I'm figuring out staging areas for tomorrow. I'm thinking West Fort Smith around 3 p.m. The low-level jet ramps up. Honestly, if I were chasing, like, this is just an early look. I don't know what will exactly happen tomorrow and how the environment will change between now and tomorrow. But, like, if I were chasing tomorrow, I would probably be somewhere down here near or just south of Fort Smith. Now, again, if things could change tomorrow, and I might, like, if I were chasing, I might change my target area to, like, Joplin. So that's just my opinion. I told Freddie this yesterday. Freddie McKinney, for those that know who that is, it's a storm chaser. I told him yesterday, I was like, you know, if I were chasing, I'd probably go like Oklahoma, be like that, because Oklahoma looked pretty favorable. But the problem was the threat was like at 2 a.m. so it was super late. But you know, I was right, more right about yesterday. I'm not always right, by the way, for the record. But like, you know, I was right about yesterday. I'd say tomorrow though, probably somewhere near or just south of Fort Smith. Today, if I were chasing, I'd probably be somewhere around Ardmore. That's where I think storms will start to fire up, Ardmore area, and then you can kind of track them to the northeast if something actually goes tornadic. So, Mr. Know-It-All, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know it all, trust me. Hey, spring forward for becoming a 1-month VIP Velocity member. Appreciate that. Hey, no problem. Appreciate you picking up a hat as well. And as a reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Like the stream as well. It does help get this out to more people. And again, I'll be live here probably for the next several hours as long as there is an existent tornado threat. If things are quiet for the next hour or two, we might just do like a little intermission. But we'll be here at least through Oklahoma City. Because again, I think there's a chance here that we get a tornado in the Oklahoma City area out of this Boeing segment of storms. It's quickly approaching Oklahoma City. So we're keeping a close eye on this. And we also got a live shot there out of Oklahoma City, bottom right of your screen. Will Fort Worth go under a tornado watch? I don't think so. Is this a derecho? No. But there is a possibility for numerous to widespread damaging winds. Do I watch the NFL? I do. Are the Patriots losing is the question. It is they're going to overtime in the mid-off, really? They're going to overtime in the mid-off. It's 17-17. There's no way. Most mid-game of all time, and they're going to overtime. That is actually so sad. They actually got a touchdown at the last second. That's crazy. Huh. That was the one game I was watching this afternoon because I'm a Patriots fan. How's confidence looking in the tropics? We actually have now potential tropical cyclone 18. This is the path and intensity. So this will be going towards the United States. We're gonna have a tropical storm heading towards the United States. The current thinking is that this will at least be a middle to high-end tropical storm as it approaches the country. Now, where it goes is uncertain, but it's pretty likely it'll go in the direction of like Louisiana or Mississippi or Alabama. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this goes a little bit more like this, because there will be a digging trough late next week that could bring this more towards like western Louisiana. It is going to become a hurricane for sure near Cuba, but after that it's probably going to weaken a bit just purely due to the fact the water temperatures are cooling off in the Gulf. So major hurricanes the rest of the year look very unlikely, at least in the Gulf. Knock on wood, and hopefully I don't jinx it. Look at the cell near Ardmore. Well, I've been looking at it. It hasn't really developed into much yet. Looks pretty elevated to me. Like, it's there. I'm not sure if we have anything on this storm yet. Let me see. I'm pretty sure this is just an elevated storm. We do have storm intermedia, I think, here. Yeah, storm intermedia is looking at this storm. So this is the one that is prefrontal near Marietta. It looks pretty elevated. We're a little away from it, but it looks pretty elevated to me. HASF A model showing a Cat 5 in the Gulf. I'd be surprised if we got a Cat 5, I'm gonna be honest. I would be surprised. The environment, in my opinion, is not favorable enough for that. I do think a major hurricane is possible in, like, the Caribbean. So maybe it enters the Gulf as, you know, as a major hurricane, but I don't think the United States is gonna get a major hurricane. Very unlikely. Alright, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued. That is going to include almost all of the Oklahoma City metro area. This is for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, quarter-sized hail, and there is, sorry, no quarter-sized hail, but 70 mile per hour damaging winds, and there is a tornado possible label on this. Alright, so if you're anywhere here in the Oklahoma City metro near Norman, Moore, Yukon, El Reno, excuse me, or Oklahoma City, stay vigilant. We are going to keep it, we're going to be mostly watching this over the next 30 minutes because there is going to be a potential here for a tornado or two, perhaps a QLCS tornado or two as this moves into the Oklahoma City metro. We already have a couple areas of rotation that we are watching. Those white circles that I just drew there, those are pockets of rotation. None of them tight right now, but there is rotation embedded in this line. So we are watching for the threat here of a couple spin up tornadoes as this moves into the Oklahoma City metro over the next half hour. This is all moving again. These storms are moving northeast or east northeast at about 35 miles per hour, so it's pretty fast moving. Hey, no bad for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. And the radar has disappeared. Oh, that's why. Never mind. What are your thoughts on a possible moderate risk being issued tomorrow? I mean, I could see there being a moderate risk. It's going to depend, though, on, again, if storms actually are more discrete. If they're more discrete tomorrow than currently forecasted, I easily could see there being a moderate risk. But, again, that's a big if right now. Lawton is now tornado free. You are tornado free. And you're also commercial free. Not actually, but yeah, you're done in Lawton. It's mostly just rain at this point. Mostly just rain. Storm intermedia bottom right. Now, I could see there being a moderate risk. Again, it would have to be, like, we would have to see a big difference, though, in computer models when it comes to storm mode tomorrow, because right now it does not look that impressive to me. I don't know what their wording was for tomorrow. I don't know if they mentioned anything in the outlook for a moderate risk. I don't think they're going to unless there's more confidence. Let me look, though. The potential for strong tornadoes will be associated with the more dominant supercells that remain semi-discrete. Greatest potential for strong tornadoes will be in eastern Oklahoma and northeast Texas. And again, this is for tomorrow. Potential for wind damage will become likely with supercells and will be increasingly possible with line segments during the afternoon. Yada, yada, yada. They didn't mention anything, though, I don't think, about an upgrade for tomorrow, as of right now. But we'll see. There will be storms out there. It's just a matter of if they'll be discrete or not. That's the biggest question mark right now. Still got a little notch right now. We got a little notch developing near Minco, Oklahoma. So a little area of circulation there developing. Again, could see a QLCS tornado. We got a little rotation as well near Minko. Honestly, all three areas of rotation that I circled a moment ago, they've all tightened on the latest scan. So we have stronger rotation now in 3 different areas, going towards Chickasha, Tuttle, and the other one going in the direction of Yukon in Oklahoma. Thank you, Tom, for the $10 super chat. Driving through northeast Oklahoma now, just getting drops. Yeah, the line of storms isn't there quite yet. We'll have some light rain there for the next little bit. Michigan, anything? No. Nothing in Michigan. The next thing you'll probably see, like severe weather or snow-wise, will probably be snow. Would be my guess. I swear, one of my most frequently asked questions is if I'm single. I'll have another radar scan here in a second. While we wait for that, we'll quickly check into storm intermedia. Again, this is the storm that I was just talking about, the one that's just to the north of the Red River Valley, near Ardmore, Oklahoma. Left side of your screen, that is the storm. It looks very elevated. Like, it does not look like it's anywhere close to the ground. Granted, we're a little further away from it. Like, we're probably 20 miles still away from it, but it still looks very elevated, so...
A new tornado warning has been issued.
All right, they have issued now a tornado warning. Not really surprised by this one. We've had tightening. That's near Union City and Yukon, west of Oklahoma City. So if you are in this warning, seek shelter immediately, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. This is near Union City and Yukon, going towards Interstate 344. Again, brand new tornado warning has been issued here, just outside of Oklahoma City. Tight rotation right now near Union City. We could have a tornado on the ground at any time. So you need to be in your safe place if you are in the tornado warning. So I go back to the terminal radar site. Yeah, here are the velocity, on the regional radar site. This is the view of the velocities on the regional radar site. So we've begun to see a little bit more of a tightening now near Union City. We've also seen that near Minko and also back down near Chickasha. So we have like 3 areas of rotation. For the time being, the main one...
A new tornado
there's another one.
Has
All right,
been
there you
issued.
go. So we have a new tornado warning now for McLean and Grady counties. That's on the Chickasha one going towards Blanchard. So if you are in that pink polygon, seek shelter. We've been talking about all 3 of these circulations, and honestly, we'll probably get another one near Tuttle at this rate. And that rotation has tightened near Union City. So we have seen a tightening now south of El Reno near Union City, moving towards Yukon. That's moving east-northeast. They will be approaching Bethany and Oklahoma City over the next several minutes. We still have that tightening there. We have, honestly, it looks like 2 different couplets near Minko and Tuttle. And I really wouldn't be surprised if we got a tornado warning on this. We have that tightening over Interstate 44. Moving right through Chickasha as we speak. It's going to be approaching Blanchard, and then the other one again near Union City, going towards Yukon, and also heading in the direction of Bethany. If you have any friends or family in these warnings, feel free to share the stream with them. Get the word out there. The tightening that's west of Oklahoma City looks to be the most concerning right now. That one looks to be the most concerning. I am posting this on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. Feel free to retweet this. We got a new radar scan coming in right now, so we'll see what happens here. See if the rotation intensifies. Thank you, Derek, for becoming a member. Alright, here comes the radar scan. Alright, Chickasha, that rotation over Interstate 44. And we have rotation that's been tightening as well near Tuttle and Mustang. There's also been rotation north of Union City. We'll see if there's any debris signature. It looks like for the time being, we don't have any debris signature as of right now. So no confirmed tornadoes on any of this activity. But the rotation's still strong near Union City, Oklahoma. It is still strong near Tuttle. This one hasn't been warned yet. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a warning on that. It's going to be heading in the direction of Moore, Oklahoma. So if you're in Tuttle, I'd play it safe and just get to your safe place. At the minimum, we're talking about damaging winds around 70 miles per hour, moving east-northeast. And then same thing back down near Chickasha and Blanchard. And moving east-northeast. I just tweeted out on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX if you do want to retweet the tornado warnings. Oklahoma City just can't catch a break. We had something just like this last night, and it's not the same as last night because we don't have any prefrontal convection right now, but got a QLCS tornado threat that's just evolving right now. I'll have another radar scan here in a second. All right, here it comes. Oh, is Newcastle in the warning? Oh yeah, Newcastle, like the southwest side of Newcastle's in this tornado warning too. All right, the Chickasha tornado warning. The rotation on the regional radar site still relatively on the broader side of things, and there's still rotation near Tuttle, going towards Mustang. And then the rotation south of El Reno, I'm not seeing, again, anything confirmed and on the ground, but there is definitely still rotation on that. We have rotation near Tuttle that'll probably get warned. It's going to be going towards Moore. Still got some rotation near Interstate 44 near Chickasha, and then the one near Union City, slightly broader on the latest scan. It's moving towards Yukon right now. Hey, you Cat, appreciate that. Can't wait. We do open up fan mail on stream, so it'll be opened up on stream for sure at some point. And one of the bigger concerns with this line, even if we don't see a tornado, will be that we are watching for damaging winds across this area from El Reno back into Duncan, Oklahoma. So be prepared for damaging winds out of this line. A new tornado
warning has
been
issued. There you go.
There's your new one. Oh, that's not the same place. We now have a tornado warning. This is in southern Oklahoma. This is Wilson. Carter, Love, and Jefferson counties included in this tornado warning. So just south of Heldon, west and southwest of Ardmore, near Wilson, we do have a brand new tornado warning here. Moving to the northeast, rotations over Highway 32. And so if you are in this warning, seek shelter immediately away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. We do have Storm Chaser, I'm trying to find it. Stormer Media, bottom right of your screen, they are approaching that tornado warned cell. So as we speak, they are approaching that tornado warned cell that's moving northeast. They're on I-35, very ominous skies there as well. So we'll have them at the bottom right. They are quickly approaching this storm. And we'll have another radar scan on the tornado warnings near Oklahoma City momentarily. Yes, there are currently 3 tornado warnings. One in southern Oklahoma, and obviously here near Oklahoma City. Patriots lost? That's fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that. Thanks for telling me. What a surprise. Go back to the the radar's just updating now. Let me check the terminal radar site though. So look at rotation near Tuttle. So look at the rotation near Union City. Go back to the regional site. No debris signature on anything right now here near Oklahoma City. So we haven't had any debris on radar being picked up. Doesn't mean we haven't had a tornado, just nothing happening on the radar scans. Rotation near Chickasha. More anticyclonic now. Yeah, the rotation near Chickasha has become a bit more anticyclonic by the looks of it. The rotation near Tuttle has also weakened a little bit on this latest scan, becoming more of a dominant Boeing wind segment, going towards Mustang and, again, more. And the rotation back up near El Reno has also begun to broaden a little bit, so not nearly as intense as before. And then back over southwest of Ardmore, large, broad area of circulation about to be moving right towards Wilson and Lone Grove. Anticyclonic means clockwise. Most tornadoes are counterclockwise. We don't see clockwise tornadoes very often. Let's go to Storm Intermedia. They're approaching that tornado warning cell just to the east of the tornado warning cell just west of Ardmore. So very ominous skies there right now. This is also a live shot out of Oklahoma City, which the line of thunderstorms is currently approaching. Should start to see lightning pick up quite a bit here pretty soon. Frequent lightning with this line of storms. Lawton, Oklahoma is beginning to clear out. Not nearly as bad there. It's still raining out there, but you'll see the blue skies in the background. It'll start to dry out here pretty soon in Lawton, just raining at this point. And then back over in Quanah, Texas, that's what it looks like behind this entire line. Beautiful conditions there. Nice and sunny. And then we also have storm chaser Tyler Kurtz, which I don't know where he's at. I have to figure it out. But Tyler Kurtz is out there right now, and he's approaching very ominous skies. I think he might be on that southern tornado warning. Thank you, Lucas, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. All right, latest radar scan still showing, for the most part, broad circulation now up and down this line. We still have rotation near Tuttle. Just hasn't really tightened yet. Oh, give me 1 second, guys. I gotta plug in my laptop. Yeah. We got like a funky setup with my laptop. It has to be plugged into the other wall. Trying to pull up our chasers. Also, the HDMI is not working. Okay. We're good now. And my camera's now blurry. Nice. There we go. All right. This is the latest radar scan. Still broad rotation approaching Yukon. We still have broad rotation as well near Tuttle. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting some sort of tornado going towards Moore. It just, right now, it's become more disorganized when it comes to overall rotation. The one near Chickasha as well. We have some anticyclonic rotation down there, but it also still appears broad. And they just updated the tornado warning for McLean and Grady counties. It has been condensed. We still have a large, broad area of circulation moving towards Wilson and Ardmore. Not really too concerned right now about that, but I think it'll become more concerning over the next 30 minutes as that moves into areas near Ardmore in Oklahoma. And the Canadian County, Oklahoma tornado warning also just condensed. El Reno is no longer in the warning. It only includes Yukon, Banner, and Richland, west of Bethany. So that tornado warning has been condensed as well. I'm pulling up all of our chasers right now, so I'm just trying to multitask. Okay, Tyler Kurtz is in Ardmore, so we're gonna keep a close eye on him. I'm not seeing anything on his view yet, but he is approaching that tornado warning cell near Ardmore, so we're keeping a close eye on that. Let's check back into Oklahoma City real quick. This is what Oklahoma City looks like. Still raining out there on the virtual railfan camera. Nothing in Oklahoma City quite yet. Again, this line of storms will be there in the next 25 minutes or so. So if you're in Oklahoma City, be prepared for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. Flying trampolines will be possible. Damaging winds expected across the Oklahoma City metro area, including Moore and Norman. So make sure you're staying away from windows as this again continues to move east. Okay. All right, here's the latest scan, and still broad circulation across the board with this line as it approaches Oklahoma City. We still have small notches, though, again, near like Mustang, for example. We still have these small little notches, especially near Mustang, that'll be moving towards Moore in the Oklahoma City metro. Still have a large, broad area of circulation near Yukon, so we could still see something spin out of that. The tornado warning near Chickasha has also been broadening out quite a bit, so broader rotation in general in those areas. And then we still have a large, broad area of circulation that's moving towards Lone Grove and Ardmore. We have several storm chasers that are approaching this area of rotation, so we are going to be going to them once they are closer to it. I don't think, again, anything's on the ground yet, but this might be the one that tries to produce something on the stronger side of things in this southern environment, especially since we haven't had any like prefrontal convection that's really gotten going yet. This could be the storm that tries to produce something a bit more on the stronger side of things. So we need to keep a pretty close eye on that. But again, the Oklahoma City metro area, that is the one area right now that I do have a little bit more concern about, because we are still watching for the potential for spin-up tornadoes that are going to be very hard to see sometimes on radar. So we're keeping, again, very close tabs on this here in the Oklahoma City metro. Damaging winds, again, being the greatest concern, but we are watching for the potential, again, of a couple tornadoes here in the Oklahoma City metro. Thank you, Mary, for becoming a member. Thank you, Felix, for the super chat. I wouldn't be shocked, again, if we have a strong or even intense tornado today. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. Threat for Dallas-Fort Worth tonight, it should be pretty low. I think tomorrow's like the main day to watch for severe weather in Dallas-Fort Worth. Even then, I think it's going to be mostly to your north and east and DFW. What are the purple boxes? Those are your tornado warnings. There is a key at the top left, by the way. That little pink thing, that's a tornado warning. So these are both tornado warnings. And if you're talking about this is a tornado watch that's in effect for 4.5 hours across much of southern and central Oklahoma, and also far northern North Texas, right along the Red River Valley. And our greatest concern for today will be down here in southern Oklahoma and North Texas, excuse me. That's where we have the potential, I think, for strong tornadoes. It's just going to depend, again, if we have some more prefrontal convection, and if this line has some semi-discrete supercells, that could also lead to a more elevated tornado potential. Otherwise, the stuff that we're seeing up here in the Oklahoma City metro, this is a more imminent threat. That's what's happening right now. This is really going to be the main threat for Oklahoma City today, is this right here. This will be the line of storms that produces a potential for, again, a couple tornadoes and damaging winds, but we're not really going to see anything beyond this, hopefully, tonight. I don't see us having another round of storms later that's at least significant. So that's my current thinking here for the Oklahoma City metro. And we're going to have another radar scan in a second, so we'll see if anything's intensifying near Oklahoma City. As a reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Again, we'll keep you posted with the latest. With severe weather coverage here across Oklahoma and Texas and even parts of Kansas today. And for reference, by the way, this is what it looks like right now for that line of storms. So that'll move through Oklahoma City over the next couple of hours. Eventually, by tomorrow morning, we'll have our next round of storms, but that should be mostly a wind threat. I would expect a very low-end tornado risk with that area of storms. And then eventually, mid to late afternoon tomorrow is when things ramp up. Let me see if any chasers have any view of anything here. Alright, not yet. They just updated the tornado warning for Carter and Love counties in Oklahoma. It is still radar indicated. Again, just to the west of Ardmore, Oklahoma. It is again moving northeast. It is still a large, broad area of circulation. It is moving towards the Lone Grove area and Ardmore, Oklahoma. Again, if you're in those areas, you don't have to seek shelter right now. Just stay weather aware. This is moving northeast, and it could produce a tornado at any time as it moves northeast, especially if this storm is able to become a bit more semi-discreet. Still got a little couplet near Mustang, Oklahoma. Still got something there. We still got rotation near Mustang. And again, this hasn't been tornado warned at any point. We haven't had any tornadoes on it, but it's been rotating. So we're still watching this near Mustang going towards Oklahoma City. Still wouldn't be surprised if we got a tornado with this going towards the OKC area. Hey, Oski, appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. I agree, by the way, Hunter. I saw that. Yeah, I agree. I think these, again, these two couplets that we have near Mustang, they could definitely undergo tornado genesis and perhaps become, you know, more tornadic. They've been rotating. Just nothing has dropped yet. We've had a little bit of we've had an inflow going into the storm. It hasn't been super impressive, but we've had an inflow. So I definitely think there's a chance that we get a tornado out of that as it goes towards Moore and OKC. ETA for tornado warning in Norman. If there's another tornado warning on this, it would probably, I mean, ETA when it arrives, like the line, is probably going to be in the next 25 minutes. So, I mean, if there's a tornado warning, probably would be in the next half hour. Somebody said there was a tornado reported at Wilson. Talking about this one? I haven't officially seen anything yet. We have several storm chasers that are approaching this storm near Lone Grove, but I don't think any of them have a view of anything yet. Thank you, Costco, for becoming a member. We haven't had a tightening on radar yet either, but doesn't mean we don't have a tornado. If there's a tornado, it'd be southeast of Wilson more than likely. This is the latest radar scan. Still looking mostly at a wind threat. I mean, there has been rotation at times near Mustang. It hasn't really materialized. We still have a little area of rotation east of Chickasha. That tornado warning expires in 9 minutes. The bigger concern really across the board will be damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour across this Boeing segment that is again moving into the Oklahoma City metro.
A new tornado
Continue to stay in your
warning
safe
has been
place if you're
issued.
anywhere in that severe thunderstorm warning. And there's your new tornado warning. That is going to be for Ardmore, Wilson, and Springer near I-35. So again, brand new tornado warning. If you are in this area, seek shelter immediately, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. Again, if you're anywhere in this tornado warning, that is for Springer, Ardmore, and Lone Grove and Wilson. This storm, again, has a capability of producing a tornado. There has been rotation for quite some time now, and it is definitely, if it, again, becomes more semi-discreet, I think there will be a chance at a tornado here. No reports on the warning as of right now, but it is radar-indicated rotation. And we do have Storm Runner Media that is approaching this tornadic storm. This is their live shot right now. That's a live view here of this tornadic supercell near Ardmore. Look at all the lightning. It is a lightning show out there. We've had a ton of cloud ground lightning with this already. Like, look at all the lightning. It's very frequent. Looks like almost all of it is cloud to ground right now. Hey, Jeff, for becoming a member.
Lightning right where that rotation would be. I'm just trying to...
Look at that lightning. Just keeps going. It's an absolute lightning show right now in this storm here near Ardmore. Look at that structure, too. This is Connor Croft. Look at the lightning.
Dude,
oh my goodness.
This is ridiculous.
It's insane. I want to go back a few seconds because you guys missed this one. This happened as well, like a second ago. That is just crazy. I'm gonna go back live.
Norman, welcome to the Bear's Cage. This thing's tornado warned, guys. It's about to come right over us. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna zoom out to cover more lightning and the overall structure. Real time is on, Brian. Real time is now on.
Something smells terrible.
Outside.
Oh my gosh, that is terrible.
So what do you think the play is here?
Honestly, just wait for it to hit us. Keep like watching
Wow.
these CGs
Man.
and then.
I've never seen so much cloud to ground lightning before in a storm like this. This was crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna let this thing, we're gonna let this thing run us over, Chad. If you're just tuning in, we're just to the west of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Tornado warned storm coming
Thank
in
you, Laura,
hot
for the super
right
chat.
here.
Appreciate that.
Huge CGs on this thing. My goodness.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild.
This is some of the craziest lightning I've ever seen.
This is another view from Storm Media. Again, they're approaching this storm. So they have a more zoomed out look. And again, another one. And this is just crazy. And we're still watching the Oklahoma City tornado warnings. Not seeing anything really right now that's imminent.
See that darker spot right there?
Yeah, right in the middle.
Tornado
This
siren.
is just crazy, guys. Oh, let me go. Oh, there was another one. We just missed it. No, we have to go back. We just that was like perfect.
Yeah. Is there some? Is that down?
See, you already know more.
Go back to Storm Media.
Guys, got 1,500 people in here if you're just tuning in.
That was insane. It was like the very tail end right there. I don't know if I went back far enough, but that's another one right there. I mean, this is just crazy. Mother Nature is going crazy here in southern Oklahoma right now.
I'm scared of this lightning. I don't know.
With the lightning. Bonkers.
Kind of makes sense.
All right, back to live.
Right there.
There's another one. It's literally non-stop. This lightning is no joke here in southern Oklahoma. We have like probably there's a chance that we could get some like house fires or something out of the amount of lightning that we're seeing going cloud to ground.
There are tornado sirens going off in town, guys. If you're in Ardmore, get to shelter. If you're in Jean, Autry, Springer, Glen, Lone Grove, Oklahoma, get to shelter, please.
And bottom right of your screen is that tornado warning that we're looking at right now near Ardmore, Oklahoma. It's a large, broad area of circulation approaching Ardmore with a ton of lightning, too. That's all cloud to ground. As the CG
Or it
show
could just be
ended,
this
or
dark
we're going
area
to keep
cloud
going, I don't
right
know.
here.
Haven't seen one in a few seconds here. There's another one just outside of the shot. It is a CG fest. I think there's gonna be another big one right there, yeah. There's another big CG right there. There's another one.
Close, I might.
This is, I mean, I know there's a tornado warning here, but the lightning is beautiful. You don't see this very often where you see this much cloud to ground lightning, and it's all happening, again, like the same area here. It's quite literally unbelievable.
lightning, dude. I'm sorry. I know you think I'm a buzzkill, but
CG is cloud to ground lightning, or cloud to ground.
A bolt of electricity.
Oh my goodness, I gotta go to this and go back a second.
It's like we're going away from it, but they're getting closer.
To the left, I think.
This just happened a second ago.
All right, there's a little structure, I guess. Oh my God,
Wow.
that was so close, dude.
That is a long-lasting lightning strike that struck the same area.
It's like we're going away from it, but they're getting closer.
Out ahead of it if I can.
Yeah, kind of lost
It might be time to start going. It might be time to start moving.
Okay.
Wouldn't you think so? Because we're right about ready to get right into this thing.
Yeah, you're probably right. I was just trying to give it a
Stormer Media is beginning to reposition.
That's 3 times right there.
There's a giant.
This is the other view
range shot
from Connor. There's another big
Where's
one.
that even at?
My
That was really
goodness.
close on my side.
This
Dude,
is
it's like
absolutely insane.
we're getting further and further away, but these bolts just keep getting closer and closer.
Further away from the rain, but the bolts just want us. Oh my gosh, to the left. Now we're just in the barrage now, I think.
Oh, dude, it is gonna take me probably like 2 hours to go through all these stupid photos I'm gonna take.
I didn't think we were gonna have a lightning show like this today.
On my purchase list.
This is
when I get back
pretty
home.
insane.
And a manual on how to use a camera too.
Go back to them in a second. I'll put them bottom right for you. All right, I do want to give you guys a quick update on what's happening out there. So the tornado warnings in Oklahoma City have both, or the Oklahoma City area have both expired. We do have a rotation that's developing near Guthrie, near Cedar Valley, near Cimarron City that's moving northeast. That is a new pocket of rotation that's developed on a bit more of a semi-discrete cell. This could become a bit more concerning. That's going to be moving towards I-35. So possibility for a tornado with that storm, I would say definitely exists. It could potentially, cycle into something that becomes tornadic. So stay weather aware if you're in the Crescent, Guthrie, or I-35 areas just south of Perry, Oklahoma. That's just north of Oklahoma City. Further south, we have that Boeing segment that's producing damaging winds. I'm not seeing any couplets right now embedded in this line that look imminent for a tornado in Oklahoma City. But again, if that changes, we'll obviously let you know. And then further down to the south, near the Ardmore area, we do have a, again, large, broad area of circulation moving into Lone Grove, and it'll be approaching Springer and just west of Ardmore. So again, that's moving northeast right now, going towards I-35. If you are in this warning, make sure that you're staying in your safe place. And this storm that we've been looking at is the one that is tornado warned. I don't know if you guys just saw this or missed it, but this was just seconds ago.
Right, we're getting taken to Pound Town.
I don't think I'm not gonna be able to stay on it. Oh,
The lightning is just, again, absolutely remarkable on this storm here in southern Oklahoma. Again, this is a live view on the tornado warning near Ardmore. The only tornado warning that is currently in effect here.
Close, so close. Alright, your turn to hold. I want to shoot some pictures.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop up here. I got bolts out my window too. Oh, that was right in front of us. Oh, there's one. Oh my gosh. A lot of people on the road. This is the first red light I've been.
This is Stormer Media's view as well. Wow. 2 more big lightning strikes right there. I've never seen so much lightning on our stream before, like in this instance where it's almost all cloud ground lightning.
Because if this thing ends up dropping something,
This is insane.
We have to be away from it. We can't be in the middle of it. It's not how it always it works, unfortunately.
And I got trees.
And it is apparently just turned nighttime. I think we're looking out a tinted window right now.
I'm trying to be a roof cam, but it's not working.
Alright, let's see if we can see anything here.
You said you guys just get more reflection than anything. Yeah, I'll probably just have to keep you guys pointed forward.
Back to them in a second. Still got large broad area of circulation over Lone Grove. As again, approaching Ardmore right now. So again, if you're in Ardmore, Oklahoma, make sure that you are in your safe place, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and again, interior room of your home or building. If you are in Springer, Gene Autry, west of Dixon. And continue to stay in that safe place. Again, tornado is going to be a possibility as this moves northeast. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings for the Oklahoma City metro area. So again, widespread damaging winds around 60 miles per hour is likely over the next 20 to 30 minutes. So if you're in Norman, Moore, Oklahoma City, Edmond, or along that I-35 corridor, it is a good idea right now to be in your safe place. You don't have to be in your tornado shelter, but stay away from windows and be on the lowest floor possible, as falling trees and power lines will be a possibility. And this is a live view out of Oklahoma City right now. Again, this is that live shot. Right now, still ominous skies. Wind will be picking up here very soon. So we're going to keep a close eye on that.
Okay. Turn around the car in a second.
And we'll see if we can see more lightning or even maybe some sort of wall cloud or lowering on this tornado warning cell here. And this is out of the Lone Grove area of Oklahoma. This is on the tornado warning near Ardmore, if you're just tuning in.
Tracy, thanks for becoming a member. Get some W's in the chat. Carl, thank you for the $1 super chat.
Wow, this is Brandon Kopic's view. Where's he at? Brandon Kopic's approaching the Red River. That is a huge shelf cloud. Corey Gherkin as well. Look at that large shelf cloud right there. This is from the leading edge of this line near Gainesville, Texas, and Thackerville, Oklahoma. There's a monster shelf cloud. Obviously, it's might be hard to see the actual structure of it from this far out, but there's definitely a large shelf cloud right there. And this is back to the lightning show and the tornado warning in Ardmore.
I'm gonna get in the parking lot of the Taco Casa.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude, this is so nuts. I don't think I've ever been in a CG barrage like this. I think the last time I've been to something like this was the Purvis EF4 back in 2020.
Alright, we're good right here. Oh my god, yeah, we're gonna keep this in wide angle.
Let me go to... I was gonna go to Brandon. Quickly go to Brandon Kopic. This is that shelf cloud that I was just talking about. Look how large that shelf cloud is. Near Gainesville, Texas. It is huge. Huge shelf cloud. Oops.
Yeah, this is...
Thank you, Vaughn. Appreciate the super chat.
We're about to get hit. We're about to get run over by it. It's warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds anyway, guys. See how big the wind is.
So this is right in the Ardmore area. So basically where they're at is where they're pretty close to where this area of rotation is suspected to be, which would be over Lone Grove. They're in Ardmore, so that pocket of rotation that could produce a tornado is within like a mile of them to the south. Bottom right of your screen, that's the rotation. This is where they are. So they're within about a mile of that rotation. So we'll see if the wind picks up or even if there's some sort of tornado here.
All right, guys, lightning show is almost past us, I think, or almost on top of us. We're getting less bolts now, but the wind should be coming soon. We're gonna see
Thank you, tornado, for the 6 months.
See how
Appreciate
strong
that.
these winds are. Thank you, Coach Rick, for the super chat, man. Good to see you in here again. Some W's in the chat rolling for Coach Rick V.
Let's go, Rick!
Again, we're still tornado warned, guys. Let's see, where would that tornado be? Honestly,
Stormer Media looking at. Stormer Media is in the same area right now, where the area of rotation is and also all the lightning. Is Moore okay? Moore's mostly wind right now. We haven't had any like couplets developing.
Super chat.
What I've seen. Quick little update on the Oklahoma City Metro. Again, this is the leading edge of wind. It is going to be moving into Moore in Oklahoma City. This line of storms has a lot of rain out in front of it, which I think is starting to stabilize the atmosphere some, which is actually limiting the tornado risk a little bit. You know, with that said, overall, we are still seeing mostly a wind threat here across the Oklahoma City Metro. I'm not seeing any couplets right now on radar that look like they're about to drop a tornado or anything like that. So for the time being, this looks to be, again, predominantly just a wind threat moving through the Oklahoma City metro area. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning back up near Alva in northwest Oklahoma. That's moving towards Kiowa and Hartner in Kansas. So a little bit of an out of the main zone severe thunderstorm warning, but damaging winds is the main concern there. But yeah, again, that rotation on this storm is going to be moving right through Ardmore. It is a rain-wrapped area of rotation. So that, again, is going to be moving right through Ardmore over the next couple of minutes. This is a live shot right in downtown Ardmore.
Thunder now.
Rain is starting to fall more. Again, if there's a tornado or anything like that, we would probably see it here because the rotation is moving right through Ardmore as we speak. Thank you, Michael, for the $10 super chat. Was yesterday's tornado rated? There have been 3 ratings for tornadoes thus far. I'm trying to find the exact
Storm is elevated.
ratings.
I wouldn't be shocked if the wind part of this did not verify.
So the tornado in Valley Brook and Sooner Road, that was an EF3 tornado preliminary, and then the tornado in Comanche was at least an EF2 tornado, and then the tornado in Harrah, Oklahoma was at least an EF3 tornado. So we have 3 ratings so far, and I think the one in Newcastle was at least an EF1, from what I saw.
I think it might be almost time to get east.
You think so?
I mean, I think any prefrontals will form over there, probably.
If you guys do see any reports, photos, or videos, you can at me on Twitter, at MaxVelocityWX.
No, I'm not. Yeah. And we'll sit here and ride the rest of this out for a little bit, but...
Tornado at $1 side fail. This is a radar indicated.
Storm Media in Ardmore right now.
Flying debris will be dangerous to those
This is Brandon Kopic. And Brandon Kopic's on YouTube and Radar Omega. Here's the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms in southern Oklahoma. Huge cumulonimbus clouds there in the middle of your screen, top of your screen. Again, you can check out Brandon Kopic on the Radar Omega app. You can download it with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. Back to Connor and see if we have anything. Wind hasn't really picked up much yet. Again, that rotation is literally over downtown Ardmore.
Very bad time to go pee. I would probably
might just be more of a wind threat. We haven't really seen the wind pick up yet. And again, this particular area of rotation on this tornado warning cell is right in Ardmore.
Did I just get a picture of an upward meter?
An upward? That is weird. That is weird that it looked like that.
Thank you, Amelia, for the generous $20 super chat. Appreciate the generosity.
Start driving east, chat.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Start driving east, try and get out ahead of this one. I think we got prefrontals trying to go in northern Texas, so that's what I'll have to position for.
Use the Gatorade bottle.
If it gets too boring, I'll just end the live.
If it gets too boring.
So on radar, we do have this like scattering area on the CC, but I'm pretty sure we're not looking at a tornado there. Yeah, that's just some sort of contamination. I don't see really much of a wind threat here. Or, sorry, tornado threat, I mean. There is rotation. It isn't really that tight right now. It could become something more concerning as it moves towards Mill Creek. But at least over Ardmore, from the videos that we've been seeing, and also just in general, like the radar presentation, it isn't really that tight. It's not like last night where we had a tight couplet and a clear debris signature. So... obviously, continue to stay in your safe place in case this does drop a tornado, but at least for the time being, the rotation, again, still not super tight. We'd probably at least have damaging winds, though. Also, back up near Norman, we are, it looks like, seeing some couplets now. Some very weak areas of rotation, one near Cole and one near Blanchard, moving towards the Goldsby area and going towards Norman. North of Oklahoma City, it is predominantly just wind. There have been a couple small couplets north of Edmond going towards Guthrie, but again, pretty broad circulation and weak rotation. So still have some rotation up that direction. But again, all that is moving through Oklahoma City as we speak. We do have that live shot, actually, in Oklahoma City. Let me check that out real quick. This is Oklahoma City live on the virtual Railfan. So rain's starting to fall now. It's pretty messy out there, very wet roadways. Again, flash flooding is a possibility. But so far, not really seeing a whole lot of wind here in downtown Oklahoma City. And Lawton, Oklahoma is very wet, but it is clearing out very fast there. Here's Storm Intermedia inside of that tornado warning near Ardmore. heavy rainfall.
Ardmore, Oklahoma. It's in southern Oklahoma.
Not seeing anything beyond that right now.
Creek, about a quarter of a mile, and then we're turning.
We go to Connor here.
Still got the CGs in front of us.
Looks like we're starting to see some flash flooding here in Ardmore.
There are 2 roads. Like,
There isn't a flash flood warning right now, but it looks like it's starting to flood a little bit there.
Wonderful question, but you're supposed to be on that one.
Again, rotation right now is right over downtown Ardmore, moving towards Gene Autry and just southeast of Springer. So continue to stay in your safe place if you're in this tornado warning. Thank you, Mitch, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Oklahoma City is getting strong winds, according to somebody in the chat. That bottom right camera not really showing much right now. Any storm concerns later for northeast Kansas? I don't think so. I think if anything, it would just be like a strong storm if you get anything up there. I'm not too concerned about severe weather up there, though. Is this the main threat? No, the main threat really will be between like 5 and 10 o'clock tonight, in my opinion. I would say what we're seeing right now is kind of the appetizer to what we're going to see here pretty soon. We are starting to see some prefrontal convection developing now near Durant, Boswell, and Hugo. And these cells that are developing, I think, will have a better shot at producing a tornado threat if they're able to materialize. We also have an organized storm developing near McKinney, Texas. So again, these storms, if they're able to organize, those will be the ones that produce a tornado threat. And these could actually get going as early as the next 20 to 30 minutes, so... Gonna be something to watch for as it goes towards Durant, Boswell, Antlers, Colgate, and also just to the south right now, McAllister. But that's where the greatest tornado risk is. And again, the tornado watch goes until 8 o'clock tonight Central Time. Includes the Red River Valley, right along, you know, the North Texas and Oklahoma border, and then back up into central Oklahoma for what we're seeing right now. Thank you, Cameron, for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Storms near Freddie McKinney, Texas. Is that a joke? Freddie McKinney, Texas? I don't think that's a place. Alright, we no longer have any tornado warnings. I think the one that we just had just expired, unless it was canceled. So we're back down to a normal level here of warnings. No tornado warnings for the time being. Let's get some W's in the chat. No tornado warnings. At least for now. That could change. I know McKinney, Texas exists. But Freddie McKinney, I don't think is a place. I could be wrong, but I've never heard of Freddie McKinney, Texas. I've gone to McKinney, Texas before. I know it exists.
what are you doing? Oh my God!
So Connor right now is repositioning. He's back down at Ardmore.
Crazy work.
On the tornado possible storm with 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, very heavy rainfall.
As long as you keep your weight off the seat, I don't have to listen to that ding. Cool with me. What are you doing?
That's awesome, Merc. That's awesome. I think I heard about that.
Wants to look at his pictures.
I heard something about
that. Guys, Brandon is about to cuss out his MacBook when it doesn't do what he wants it to do. Blood does not know how to use a MacBook.
Oh, is Freddy live?
Or I should have just got a Windows laptop. This is not an endorsement of Windows.
Oh, he might be on a members only stream. I don't know.
Or Apple.
Or Apple. This is purely opinion.
The only endorsement we give is to Radar Omega, who's very nicely sponsoring.
Go back to Live Radar here. How long before the storms reach Tulsa? Tulsa probably still has a couple more hours until this line reaches you. So, again, main concern will be damaging winds. We do have some rotation near Guthrie still. I mean, it's broad, but we have had rotation up near Guthrie. Still wouldn't rule out an isolated tornado going towards I-35 and Langston and Stillwater. So continue to stay weather aware if you're up there. There has been some rotation there here for a little bit. So we're keeping a close eye on that. Still a little bit of rotation as well near Edmond, moving east-northeast. Mostly wind right now in the Oklahoma City area, and also back through Norman. So again, this is all mostly wind at this point. Could still see a QLCS tornado somewhere near Norman or more. but it's predominantly wind right now across the board. Thank you, Allison, for the $20 super chat. Appreciate the generosity. Put some W's in the chat for Allison. Everyone in McKinney is dead. The temperature in McKinney is 10,000. Wait, no, it's 100,000 degrees. It's like the most iconic meme of, wasn't that last year? Hey, Marianne, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Is Oklahoma done with the tornado chances for the day? I would say for the rest of the daylight hours, you're probably done. I wouldn't rule out that there's like another isolated tornado threat early tomorrow morning. So that would be the only other thing I'd be watching for. But for like the rest of like today and like I'd say tonight, I think you're fine. Again, the risk of severe weather is the highest right now across southeastern Oklahoma and North Texas, where we do have the potential for, again, an isolated strong tornado or two, but predominantly just a few tornadoes being possible. So again, the biggest thing that I recommend you having today is having multiple ways to receive alerts. If you're anywhere here in central, eastern, southern Oklahoma, or far northern North Texas, that is where the greatest concern again today is for severe weather. And we'll be live as long as needed. So we'll be here. But I would say the biggest concern right now is if something develops here, but we got several prefrontal storms developing right now, right along the Red River. These are the ones right here that are going to be the concern for a strong tornado threat. So if something's able to get going this afternoon, when it comes to a more elevated tornado risk, it would be this here, right along the Texas and Oklahoma border. And again, these will all be moving north in the direction of Boswell, Antlers, McAllister. So again, southeastern parts of Oklahoma. And that could, again, start as early here as North Texas. Thank you, Gyro, for becoming a 2-month member. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Appreciate you getting a hat and a signed card. Thank you, Andrew, also for the super chat. How's Shawnee, Oklahoma looking? Shawnee's going to be mostly a wind threat. Again, I wouldn't rule out an isolated tornado, but predominantly a wind threat right now heading towards Shawnee. And right now, Moore and Norman are predominantly, again, getting wind right now. Not really a whole lot of rotation down there. We've had rotation up near Guthrie. So we still have some rotation near Guthrie. And that's currently moving east, going towards Langston, and eventually Stillwater. So wouldn't rule out an isolated spin up there. Another derecho today? We are not expecting a derecho today. No, derecho is not expected. Be mostly a wind threat across the board. Mostly a wind threat. But tornadoes more elevated in southeast Oklahoma. And even, again, central Oklahoma, but central Oklahoma predominantly wind right now. If you're in Stillwater, just watch the storm closely. Again, we'll keep a close eye on it, and if it goes tornadic, we'll obviously let you know. But it's just a broad area of circulation right now, and it's in a kind of a messy environment. I'd say more than anything, it's a wind concern, but I wouldn't rule out maybe some tornado genesis here as that goes towards Stillwater. But it's I would say a low chance of a tornado. Definitely not zero, though. We've had a little bit of rotation near Edmond as well, moving towards Meridian. It's just, again, very broad and weak. So nothing too crazy, in my opinion, right now. Is Ardmore going to see any more tornado possibilities tonight? I would say at this point, the chances are definitely going down since the storms are moving out of your area. And, you know, all the rain that we're seeing there right now is going to stabilize the atmosphere. We do have back down near Bradley a little hook on this cell, but again, it's not really in a great environment. There's very broad circulation west of Lindsay. But we do have a little hook on that. Again, a hook doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a tornado, but it does have a little bit of a structure to it. And mostly wind right now moving through Ardmore. But we got several prefrontal storms developing right now near Sherman, Bonham, and going towards Boswell. Again, any of these cells here will have the chance to produce tornadoes. That's really what we're going to be watching for here over the next little while. Hey, Baylor for the super chat. Sulphur, Oklahoma. Should be mostly a wind threat. Main concern will be wind. All that bright area of colors here, that's where our main, leading edge here of damaging winds is going to be. So it's moving through Mill Creek and Sulphur here over the next 20 minutes. And Decatur's probably clearing out as well. Should be mostly just rain from here on out. Mostly just rain. Maybe again, a thunderstorm, but again, I wouldn't expect much severe weather. Thank you, Steve, for becoming a VIP Velocity member. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Velocities. Some W's in the chat for Steve. That is the highest tier membership on the channel. How many tornadoes have I seen? Are you talking about, like, IRL? I've never seen a tornado ever. Here's the thing, though. Next year, at some point, I almost can assure you we'll be doing a storm chase with Storm Chaser Freddie McKinney. Almost guaranteed, but we'll be doing that next year. So that should be exciting. Hey, JT, for becoming a 6-month member. Appreciate that. How's it going, Elizabeth? Welcome back. Hey, Marissa, for becoming a 5-month member. Appreciate that. But if we do a storm chase next year, we'll be doing it live on the channel, so you guys will be able to see it. Doing a full-blown storm chase, maybe a couple days of storm chasing on the channel. That'd be pretty cool. Would you guys want to see that? A storm chase? Me storm chasing with, like, Freddie McKinney or something? Joplin, Missouri should be mostly just a wind threat late tonight. Tomorrow is more concerning, in my opinion, for the Joplin area. In a Buzz Lightyear outfit? The only way I do that is if I do a chase with Connor, and it would have to be like, you'd have to dress up as Woody and I'd be Buzz. That's the only way we do it. So maybe if I do one with Connor. No, Connor's the one that gets stuck in mud. Freddy does not get stuck in mud. I guess that's one of the perks to going with Freddy. How fast is this moving? This line of storms, if it keeps racing to the east like it is right now, this prefrontal convection might struggle to really materialize. I'll have to wait and see, but yeah, right now, like, this line of storms moving 50 miles per hour to the northeast. It is moving very fast. And so storm chasers as well are going to struggle to catch up to those storms out in front. Thank you, Jackson, for the super chat. St. Louis timing. St. Louis isn't going to see anything today. If you want more details on tomorrow, we have a video talking more about that today. Thank you, Pox, also for the super chat. I think Choctaw is good. Or Choctaw. Choctaw is probably good. It's again mostly just a wind threat. If it wasn't for all this rain out in front of the line, I mean, we would probably be talking about a tornado in progress somewhere near Oklahoma City right now. But that rain has stabilized the atmosphere a lot out in front of that line. So this line has been struggling more. It is still producing wind, like damaging winds, but the tornado threat has died down. It died down really fast because of all that rain. Like if we go back an hour ago, you'll see that rain really races out in front of it. It's like an outflow almost of just a bunch of rain. And that's literally gone almost 40 to 50 miles to the east of the line, and it's just stabilizing the atmosphere, essentially. So the atmosphere in Oklahoma City has become a lot less favorable for tornadoes. Right now, the atmosphere down in southeastern Oklahoma is becoming more favorable for tornadoes. With that said, we have this line that is also really racing fast to the northeast, and that could stabilize the atmosphere for some of southeastern Oklahoma, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think it'll stabilize the atmosphere some. Thank you, Kyle, for the super chat. DFW should be mostly a wind threat tonight, but even then, I don't think we're gonna get much in DFW. I think tomorrow will be the bigger of the 2 days for severe weather. As a reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Like the stream as well if you're just tuning in. It does help get this out to more people. Also, today's stream is brought to you by Radar Omega. That is the weather app that we're currently using. If you need a weather app to stay ahead of the storms, highly recommend downloading Radar Omega. It's on iOS and Android, and it's the top link in the description below. You get a lot of features like different customization. You get the live radar feed, and you also get live storm. You can also watch live storm chasers inside the app with their location on storms, and also live cameras across the country that are all available inside the base app. And if you get a subscription on the app, you get access to computer models and satellite imagery. So again, you can download it on iOS and Android with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. Thank you, Tony, for becoming a 6-month member. Appreciate that. Yeah, the rain's a good thing out of this. I mean, the rain is really the most beneficial thing that we're going to get out of this entire system, because there's a big drought that is ongoing across a large chunk of the country, and especially in the central and southern plains. The problem is a lot of the rain that we're seeing, like in Oklahoma City, is falling heavily in a short amount of time, and we could see some flooding out of this. So there's a trade-off to all the rain that we're going to be seeing, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And we are starting to see some more cells developing right now near Bonham and Sherman. And nothing really rotating quite yet, but this is the area that we're watching for some tornadic activity here over the next couple of hours. Again, nothing's really gotten going yet, but if it's able to organize, tornado potential will be elevated here in North Texas and also into southern Oklahoma. Lone Grove is mostly rain at this point. Don't forget, by the way, to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. The links are in the description. You can also follow us on Instagram. The link's in the description. And also, you can join our Discord server. Link in the description to that as well. But these storms are all expected to move towards like western Arkansas late tonight. So if you're in western Arkansas or back up into eastern Oklahoma, just be vigilant. Again, main concern will be damaging winds as it moves that direction. Still have some broad rotation moving towards Stillwater, Oklahoma. I'd say it's more of a wind threat, but just a little bit of rotation near I-35 moving into Langston. So I wouldn't rule out an isolated brief spin up there. But the threat of tornadoes is expected to increase again over the next hour here in southern Oklahoma and North Texas. And we also have a damage report back over in Whitewright from a little earlier today of a report of a power pole down on Highway 11 east of 69 in Whitewright. But the National Weather Service of Norman did outline an area here. This is now through 8 o'clock tonight. The tornado threat is expected to increase. Again, that's mainly in the Ada, Ardmore, and Durant area. So again, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings, have a tornado action plan in place in case you're under a tornado warning. And mobile home residents should be going to a sturdy structure as a precaution, or at least be ready to go to one. Thank you, Pamela, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Still have some rotation near Riveria, so that rotation has begun to spin up a little bit more here. We have a little bit of rotation approaching Mill Creek. That is the initial area of rotation that we had, or at least one of them, near Ardmore. So we have a little bit of rotation trying to develop there now. Aside from that, again, we're really watching the prefrontal convection for some sort of tornado threat. So that'll be the main concern. All right, I'll take a quick 60-second break. Got to get water. I'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned. We'll put it on Connor as he chases here on the Ardmore severe storm. We'll be right back.
Slowly but surely. What a fun stream already.
Yeah. All right, I'm doing it, Chad. I'm doing it. Said I couldn't do it. Here I go. Breaking out. Bald tires and all. Don't matter. Let's get it. Like our Verizon hotspot went SOS back there and it's disconnected.
We are back.
Unfortunate. I'm gonna have to cut out for a quick second to reconnect that, guys. We're gonna go no signal for like 10 seconds. Bear with me. We will return. I have to reconnect.
I can't bear with you. We can't bear with you. All right. Anything new for the DFW area over the next few hours? I don't really expect much in Dallas-Fort Worth, to be honest. I think the main concern will be tomorrow. Still got some rotation south of Mill Creek. Still pretty broad, though. Nothing really too out of the ordinary right now. And also, the storms in the Oklahoma City area are no longer severe. The last severe thunderstorm warning up there expires in 11 minutes, and that severe area of thunderstorms is now outside of the warning. So unless they issue something for Stillwater, it'll just be strong thunderstorms in central Oklahoma. So that's some of the good news coming out of this. Again, we are still watching at least a couple storms developing near Bonham. And none of these really rotating yet, but again, over the next 30 minutes, we do think the tornado threat will be increasing. So a couple of tornadoes will be a possibility if this environment's able to be realized when it comes to discrete supercells. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. Again, we'll keep you posted with anything that might be developing out there. For the time being, it's relatively disorganized, but we think, again, things will ramp up here over the next hour in Oklahoma and Texas. And maybe Kansas, by the way. Do you see the hail at the NFL game? What hail? Months ago, Max was saying skibbity. Okay. Skibbity Riz. Max, can you explain this tornado stuff in Sigma terms? No kizzy cap, it's, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I was gonna try to say something, I couldn't think of anything. Cardinals Bear game had a Hail Mary? Was there another one? Did this, like, just happen? Oh, it was actually hailing in Arizona. Oh, it was actually hailing. That's crazy. Wait, where? This is back over in Phoenix, isn't it? Got some storms down here. Apparently it was hailing at the Cardinals game over here. That's crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen hail at an NFL game before. Especially when they're, like, playing. That's actually crazy. Not gonna lie. I'll retweet the video on Twitter for those that are curious. Alright, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. It's a pretty large one. This is going to include Ada, Colgate, Caddo, and Durant, east of Ardmore. The main concern here will be damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and there is a tornado possible label on this area of thunderstorm. So again, Colgate, Caddo, just east of Sulphur near Ada are included in this. This includes a ton of counties. Marshall, Hughes, Cole, Atoka, Seminole, Potocoke, Johnston, Byron, and Murray counties, all included in this new warning. And a new flash flood warning was just issued for Logan and Payne counties in Oklahoma. So that should pop up here in a second. Oh, that's up here. That's near Stillwater. So new flash flood warning back up in Stillwater. So turn around, don't drown on the roadways. I did retweet the video on Twitter if you guys are curious, at Max Velocity WX for the hail. It was at the Cardinals game in Arizona. Out of all places, it was Arizona. Where's everybody watching from today? Feel free to put that in the chat. I don't know what else to talk about right now. There's nothing happening. We're waiting for, like, you know, these discrete supercells to get going. We're kind of in like an in-between phase here of these storms. So we got the line of storms, and then we got this prefrontal convection, which may or may not pan out. Just kind of wait and see what happens. Got Northern California in here. We got Georgia, Michigan, Arkansas. We got Sherman, Texas, New Orleans, Prescott Valley, Arizona. That's not far from the hail that happened at the Arizona Cardinals game. Sydney, Australia in the chat. Got Utah, Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio has been very dry this very dry this year. Sulphur, Oklahoma update. It's mostly just rain at this point. Lightning. That's really about it. Otherwise, not much else happening there. Okay. Will this affect tomorrow's threat of severe weather? Not really. I don't know if I have the future radar pulled up. I can show you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, should be interesting. Again, I think both, like, today and tomorrow could be booms or busts when it comes to severe weather. I think today could either, you know, it could be a big day here in southeast Oklahoma over the next hour or two. We could see a nocturnal tornado threat really ramp up here, or we could see it again turn into mostly just, you know, just a wind threat with not much else there. We also could see the same thing tomorrow. This is the future radar here for the next 24 hours. So again, that line of storms will develop, potential for some supercells that could produce tornadoes over the next few hours in southeast Oklahoma and North Texas. And then eventually that rolls into Arkansas, Missouri, and eastern Oklahoma with mostly a wind threat overnight. And then eventually by tomorrow, we're watching for another round of storms to fire up. If we get any semi-discrete supercells or discrete supercells out in front of the line, those will be the ones that produce a more elevated tornado threat. So that's in eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas, and also western Arkansas. The latest HRRR model run, we'll check it out and see if it shows anything here. But this shows storms even just outside of DFW around 5 to 6 o'clock that become tornadic. So, might be something to watch for there. Maybe like a nocturnal tornado threat or something like that. And then Oklahoma-wise, kind of shows the same thing. Again, it's a pretty narrow corridor, but it's really from the around Dallas-Fort Worth back into southern Oklahoma. I still don't think southern Oklahoma, I still don't think like Dallas-Fort Worth will see much, but perhaps just outside of it could have a tornado threat evolve. That's what the HRRR model thinks, at least right now. That really develops around 5 to 6 o'clock. Which, granted, again, we haven't really seen anything developing here yet, but that would be within the next hour or two. Thank you, Dan Dorian, for becoming a member. Hey, by the way, Kristen for the $20 super chat. I think I missed that, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Brando, for the $5 super chat. You know how freaked out we were in Paris, Texas, that we were exactly 2 years ago to this date, we had that destructive tornado? I think I remember covering that. I'm pretty sure I covered that tornado a couple years ago. Thank you, Creative, for the $10 super chat. Guthrie and Langston. Is that this area? Yeah, it's this area. Yeah, rotation is pretty much gone on this one. I mean, it's just gusty winds at this point. So yeah, you're fine, I think, up in Stillwater. Main concern at this point just being the flooding threat. But aside from that, the tornado risk is definitely going down up there. What's Brandon Kopic up to? We haven't gone to Brandon Kopic in a bit. This is Brandon Kopic. Again, you can watch him on YouTube and also on the Radar Omega app, which is the top link in the description below. He is currently approaching Durant, Oklahoma. Just ominous skies right now. Nothing really too crazy there. Pretty tame, pretty chill. Storm Intermedia? They have something? Oh, that's Brandon Kopic's view of the storm. That's the bleeding edge. Storm Intermedia have something? Not anything yet. Huge shout out to Steve with the $50 super chat. Put some W's in the chat for Steve. Appreciate the generosity. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. W's in the chat for Steve.
Storm clouds.
This is Storm Intermediate's view here.
Over here.
Near Medill, or Medill, Oklahoma. Home of the dill pickles.
And over there.
Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know if they have dill pickles there. Thank you, Derek, for becoming a member for 3 months. Appreciate that.
Down there.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Pause. Major pause. Rewind. Thank you, Ruth, for the super chat. Trying to start the super chat train up.
The train of the roof, the chain. Oh, whoops. Chain of the chain of the train of the super chats, not the chain. I got that chain already. I need a chain.
Hi, Dill Pickle,
that says
Oklahoma.
Slim Sleepy.
Fantastic name.
Alright, I'll get you that for Christmas.
Oh, God.
No problem, Steve. Appreciate the generosity once again.
You said it.
Slim Sleepy socks.
Anything severe in Kansas tomorrow? I don't really think there'll be much. Maybe on like the eastern side of the state, some damaging winds.
I need to go get. Oh.
Like aside from that, I don't really think we're gonna have much tomorrow. This is today's threat. This is tomorrow's. So mostly just a wind threat. It would be mostly in like southeast Kansas though. Other than that, it's pretty low risk overall. Any real for the super chat? Any threat for Chicago tomorrow? Mostly just rain. I wouldn't expect much severe weather up there. It'll be mostly to your south. The warm sector won't really be lifting that far north, so I'm not expecting much up there. We still have a rotation over near the Tishomingo area. So we've had some rotation near Mill Creek trying to develop. This has been, again, rotating for quite a while. Just very broad area of circulation. So I'm not, again, too concerned about that right now. And then back over near Denison and Sherman, we've had storms crossing the Red River. And those also haven't really been rotating yet. Again, this prefrontal convection would be what we're watching for a more elevated tornado threat. And if this stalls, which it looks like it is right now, we could get a supercell or two trying to develop west of Dallas-Fort Worth here soon. So that's another thing we'll have to watch for. But again, in the short term, things are definitely not looking too shabby. We have a little wind threat developing near Albany in Texas. Near Bayard and Abilene as well. A little wind threat developing there. Thank you, Drake, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. Thank you, Rick, also for the super chat. Joplin in the main tornado threat tomorrow. I could see the 10% hatch risk getting extended up there. It's going to depend on how far north that warm sector goes, though. It's going to be the biggest question mark. How far north that goes. Where's Marshall, Texas? Thank you, Christy, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, look at that. We actually have rotation all the way back over near Marshall, Texas right now. That's east of Longview. Just a little storm that's popped up over near Marshall. We got some broad circulation there. Hey, Jones, for the super chat. Is there a high tornado possible in Ardmore tomorrow? I'd say probably not. I think it'll be more to your east. Hey, Wesley, also for the super chat. Appreciate that. Any updates on the tropicals? We do have that tropical system that's currently in the Caribbean Sea, and it will be going towards the Gulf Coast here in just a few days. It is expected to become a hurricane near Cuba, and then after that, probably a strong tropical storm in the Gulf. So we'll have a detailed update on this probably after tomorrow, so maybe on like Tuesday. We'll have a detailed update on that. How is it already post-tropical? It isn't. It's just glitched on the software. It's not post-tropical cyclone. It has not developed yet. Thank you, Tyrone, for becoming for the super chat. Are we clear in Norman and Goldsby? I would say so. I think you're clear at least for the rest of the day. Again, early tomorrow morning there will be another line of storms more than likely.
Gonzalez there, kid.
We have Brandon Kopic's view. He still has a huge shelf cloud there out in the distance. Brandon Kopic getting well ahead of the storms. He's going towards Durant right now. We got a huge line of thunderstorms there. Starting to lose connection a little bit.
Damn, y'all must be like
A huge line of storms here in southern Oklahoma. Again, mostly just 60-mile-per-hour winds moving across southern Oklahoma right now. Thank you, Wood, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Thank you, Edward, for the super chat. Watch my video this morning. Again, the video has more details. I went more into detail on that for, like, Arkansas and whatnot for tomorrow. Check Twitter and see if we have any other updates. Hey, Skylar, for the super chat. Appreciate it. All right, no other updates as of right now from the Storm Prediction Center on today. And we are still waiting for some of that prefrontal convection to develop. It's really the next thing that we are going to be watching for. And for the time being, nothing's really developed in the areas that we're looking at for a more, elevated tornado threat. But we're still watching this part of North Texas and Southern Oklahoma, and again, this area here. Those are the 2 spots. So those will be the areas that we are going to be watching for maybe a developing tornado threat here over the next few hours. And I think the peak again will be from like 5:30 until like, I'd say about 5:30 until 10 o'clock-ish or so. So, that's what we're looking at. I think overall, though, like right now, there's not much happening. I haven't seen a whole lot of rotation with a lot of these storms. And for the most part, a lot of broad rotation on most of this activity. But the storm over near Marshall, Texas, that one still has a couplet. Honestly, if we get a tornado warning, it might be on this here near Marshall. That's like the one storm right now that has rotation evidently on radar. And it's not even near the area that we're really talking about today. Is there a tornado risk out here? There is a 2% tornado risk out here. So, I mean, again, this one might get warned. See what the next scan shows. Scan's coming in now. We'll see what it looks like. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this one actually got tornado warned. Tornado risk for Tulsa is on the low side of things. Not 0, but it's on the low side of things. This is the latest scan. So a little couplet right now near Marshall. I wonder if that right there... Like, we don't have a CC drop. It is rotating, though. A little rotating cell near Marshall, Texas. It's very, away from everything else that's happening, so it's pretty interesting that that's rotating. We do have a wind threat increasing near Albany and near Abilene, Texas as well. Rotation might be starting to kick up now a little bit near Bells and Savvy, or Savoy, west of Bonham. We also have a little bit of rotation developing here near Bennington and Durant. So a couple little areas of rotation, I think, starting to develop now. We haven't really had much rotation yet, but a little bit of something trying to kick up on those 2 storms. And those are the prefrontal storms that are developing as of right now. Keeping a close eye on those. How's the Oklahoma City Metro looking? I think Oklahoma City, again, is clearing out for the most part. It's predominantly just wind at this point. Again, low-end tornado risk still exists. We got a little area of circulation going towards the Etowah area. Aside from that, it's mostly just gusty winds. Thank you, Vex, for the super chat. Literally the most Sigma weather guy ever. Appreciate that. Thank you. Means a lot. How do you switch the radar so fast? There's hotkeys. There's like a hotkey tab that you can look at. Like it's like Shift V for like velocities and stuff like that. So it's easy to do on the fly. Makes it way easier to flip between different things like, velocities and radar and whatnot. Looks like we got a little base on the storm that Connor's approaching. That's what it looks like right now. That's back over near Durant.
We live at 60 and we've been going 45 consistently. So what is happening? What are we doing? Oh my gosh, there's an
slabbed home.
There's an 8.
What the heck?
What?
There's just a foundation sitting right there.
Well, there's an 8-car line behind the semi that's in front of us.
Connor does need a Whataburger gift card, yes.
Thank you, Crazy, for the super chat. Has Sulphur in Davis, Oklahoma.
You're gonna fan
Thank you guys are me clearing out back over in Sulphur. Mostly just rain at this point.
I'll take it.
this mount is making me mad today. It's really
We are now looking at a steering wheel. Nice. Somebody just said in the chat that road sucks anyways. Wow. Disrespecting the Oklahoma roads? It's insane. This storm here near Albany honestly has my eye. I think this one could become tornadic at some point going towards Breckenridge. Definitely wouldn't rule it out. It's not really rotating yet, but it has that look to it. So that might be the storm to watch for here soon, going towards Breckenridge. Rotation still on Marshall. Yeah, this storm's been rotating. No tornado warning. I mean, we haven't had a debris signature, just some rotation. And could get a brief tornado out of that as it moves towards Jefferson. Not warned. It just has a special weather statement. Not warned as of right now. Thank you, Pecker, for the super chat. Appreciate that. I don't think Iowa's going to see much. Again, if you see anything, it'd be tomorrow, but I don't really expect much even up in Iowa. It'll be mostly rain this week out of this trough. All right, I think this is the plan, because there's not much happening right now. I mean, we got storms that are starting to fire up, but I think it's going to take a bit, and I want to eat dinner in case we do have a longer live stream tonight for tornado coverage. So I think the plan is we're gonna end this stream. We're gonna redirect you to a new stream that I'm gonna have on the channel. We're gonna do our next stream probably starting around 6, unless something really pops up earlier than expected. That is more concerning. But stay tuned to the stream here so you are redirected. And that way you can click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live next. Because right now there's not much happening. I don't really feel like, talking about nothing that's happening right now. Because again, there's stuff starting to develop. It's just, I think it's going to take another like 45 minutes to an hour to really get going. So instead of being here and just not really saying much, I'd rather, get a quick break in and then come back when things are happening. So stay tuned to this stream. You're going to be redirected to our new stream. What you should do there is click the bell icon so you're notified, and also make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you get notified as well so when we go live. All right. Appreciate you guys all tuning in as always. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you to anybody that super chatted, donated, became a member. Really appreciate you guys. And again, we'll be back at 6 o'clock, assuming something is happening. If nothing's happening, I'm not going to go live again. But if stuff ramps up, as I think it will, we'll be live again around 6 or so Central Time. That's about an hour from now. We'll push back the stream or make it sooner if needed. All right, so we'll go live if there's a tornado warning or anything like that that is concerning and is something that might be more significant. All right, thank you guys all for watching. Stay on this stream. You'll be redirected again to our new stream. All right, we'll be back here in about an hour or so stay tuned. If needed. Again, we'll be back in an hour if needed. So we'll see you guys all again here in probably about an hour, as long as things are happening. See you guys all again soon. Thank you all for watching.